know, they think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who want to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighters beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Man. Oh man, I'm normally not the type that like to rub it in, man. But I hate to say I told you so, but Bodywork told you so, man. Ay. Oh my goodness, his twin, Bodywork, salute his twin, Cookie Monster. Bodywork, salute Cookie Monster. You say sounding incredible as usual. That's what I like to hear. That I'm clear. I appreciate that, Cookie Monster. But man, you know, boxing is wild, man. Boxing is so wild, man. And I'm just glad that, man, I was talking to my lady, man, and I was telling her, man, I'm just glad. I'm just glad that I had a good mother, man. I had a good mother, man, and she raised me, man, to have what they call character. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, man, it's sometimes it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It be hard. It's so hard. You know what I'm saying? Not to follow everybody as they jump off that cliff because it looks so fun. And they be telling you it feels so good. You know, it's like that. It's like on the Matrix, man, when he was eating that steak. And me and my man Kurtwood, my brother, he always talk about that one scene, man, with a dude eating a steak. And he's like, man, I know it's not real, but it tastes so good. And a lot of us still be caught up in the Matrix because we don't know how to be ourselves and to stand alone, even when it means standing on, no pun intended, business in this boxing talk, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna keep tooting my own horn, man. Just I tooted it once enough, you know. But on a serious note, man, it's unfortunate what happened, and I hope this is a lesson. I hope this is going to be a lesson to everybody out here, man, when it comes down to talking boxing and actually, you know, not blurring the lines of fandemonium and then just being two-faced. Just having a whole set of standards for somebody you rock with, but then always trying to hold somebody else's feet to the fire. Undermining people and their accomplishments, you know what I'm saying? Not like just taking certain people who have been doing this for so long at such a high level, taking them for granted. just ready to latch on to the new. I told y'all that was something. I told y'all that was like very, very dangerous, man. And women aren't the only ones that have intuition, man. I think men have it too. It's just that a lot of the times, I don't really think we tap into it the way, they do. Well, I've been learning more and more to go with my intuition, man. And I told y'all, it was a reason why I didn't do that video, man. It was a reason why I didn't do the video like how I normally do. Not a live, but my videos that I normally do. It was a reason why I didn't do this pray video. This one. It was a reason why I didn't do it, man. I saw some things and I've been seeing some things, man. And as much as I wanted the young man to succeed, Cokie, salute Bodywork, salute Cokie. But as much as I wanted the young man to succeed, I just seen a lot of inconsistencies, and I saw how, people talk about the machine. I saw how the machine was. I seen a lot of people, a lot of anti-tank guys was running and jumping, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of the Devin Haney's. I told y'all it was a great migration where people was picking and choosing. And I think the biggest Devin Haney knee pad wearing, throat coat spraying, tonsil jewelry displaying creator had been trying to sink his hooks into Keyshawn and playing that game, and all of a sudden after he been calling him Coleslaw Davis, and that's how I know how people who listen to he been calling him Coleslaw all this time and all this week, man. That nigga been jiggling balls all week, and I'm like, man, have some dignity for yourself, man. Have some dignity. This man had Keyshawn #1 in the lightweight division, and the man got a belt and technically didn't even defend it. Won't even be defending it. Got it, and before you can even get in the ring to see, like, crazy work. Crazy work, man. Crazy work, man. Listen, let me get into my spiel, man. Keyshawn just exposed the business of boxing, man. And right before I went live, I heard that the fight was officially off. You know what I'm saying? Like about 20, 30 minutes before I went live, I heard that the fight is officially off. And Abdullah Mason is going to be the main card. And let me see. That's basically Lisa Snow and Big Soda Mix in every baking soda in every live chat they live through. Haney, so Keyshawn is the tool they use for anti-tank stuff. Yeah, man. Like, yeah. Exactly, Cokie. You've been seeing it, man. I appreciate you, Cokie, because you be out. You be out and about, man. I be seeing you, man. You be holding it down, man. You be holding it down, man. You be holding it down, Cokie. I salute you, man, and everything you do, especially being in the gyms and, and fighting and doing your thing. And, you can speak, you can speak with even more authority, with your background, man. And I'm glad you recognize real, but let me say this, man. Yeah, Edwin de los Santos team did the smart thing Bill Haney couldn't do. Yeah. I'm gonna get into this, man. I'm gonna get into this because to me, man, Keyshawn exposed, like, and all this week in the build-up, like, he been exposed a lot of people. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. Keyshawn in the treatment and how everybody was getting on that bandwagon and hitching themselves to that and all of the things that they were saying, man, and like, it's been a while. Like I told y'all, see, because people will highlight when he beat Lemos, right? They don't talk about the circumstances of Lemos, how Lemos was up there with the IBF, how Richardson Hitchens fought that man under the IBF, and he was at 140 doing the IBF 10-pound rehydration. That's why I say I put a whole lot more respect on champions that have that IBF, man. Y'all gonna come around. Y'all gonna come around eventually. Eventually, y'all gonna come around, man. A lot of people love to be hindsight is 2020 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Some people gotta see to believe, but I'm like, Mike Bodywork, Mike Rogers. I be telling y'all, man. I be trying to tell y'all, but in real time, I'm hating and I'm being too deep, and I'm just, you just hating, you just a tank D rider. Let's know. I'm telling y'all what it is, man. I'm telling y'all, I be trying to tell y'all what be going on in real time. I don't wait till hindsight. You know what I'm saying? Some people appreciate it in real time. In real time, they appreciate it. Some people only appreciate it in hindsight. You know, that's why I said what I said the other day when I said, man, if you too close to somebody and you too affiliated and all that, I don't want to talk boxing with you when it comes to them individuals. Because you're going to lose the objectivity in it. There won't be no objective other than have a sausage party. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do that. I'm not into sword fighting. You know what I'm saying? But when Keyshawn did that knock shit, right? And everybody was like, oh man, here you go, Tank running. And I was like, man, can the dude at least do something? Can he at least do something? It's one thing having a style and being match made, and we pick and choose when we want to acknowledge that Top Rank is phenomenal at matchmaking. Right? But when you go in depth and you actually look at resumes and you look at how they're building and who and what they're doing and when they do it, like I did when I was talking about Abdullah Mason, like I did when I was talking about, even though Richardson Hitchens is not on Top Rank, just like the other day when I did it and I told you that Richardson Hitchens never fought somebody with an upside down record. Richardson Hitchens didn't suck himself down to 35. Imagine what Richardson Hitchens would have looked like if he sucked himself down to 35 with the skill set he had and rehydrated with that same skill set and went down to 35. How would he look? But he still gets no respect. He got it out Z-Mud. The way they moving Abdullah Mason, he got it out Z-Mud. He was not fast-tracked. And people be trying to apply that to Tank, but Tank was not fast-tracked. He got it out the mud too. He built himself up to this status. But we just willing to just give people things in this day and time. We just give it away. I was just talking about this the other day. I've been talking about it for like 2 weeks now, really. I did my piece on Richardson. I did my piece on Abdullah. I've just been breaking down. I was doing my thing on Brian Norman Jr. and all these guys, and my segment about boots and, you know, how boxing talk has become, you know, almost like red versus the blues. It's become so tribal. All of these things, right? Let me just get into this. You welcome, Cokie, but let me get into this, man. Let me get into this. I don't think y'all understand, like, what I mean. Like, I don't really think y'all understand what I mean when I be saying I be on that predator shit, right? And there are certain people in boxing that I feel are like true predators. Like, do you know the essence of a predator? You know the essence of a predator? Like on the movie, like even in the movie, in the context of a movie. So I'm gonna make this make sense so you can understand the channel. I say that this is the 300. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the 300 is just like the movie. Just like the movie. Where there was only against 10, it was like 300 against thousands. It was 300 against thousands. All it took was just a few good soldiers that were sharp, well-rounded. But I be on some Predator shit like the movie. Like in the movie, right? If you watched all the Predators, there was an essence to the Predators. What the Predators do is they find out who's the most dangerous species. And amongst that species, they take on the best of that species. Like if a predator was on a mission and it came across a pregnant woman, it would look at it and see it and say, oh no, that's not, you know, that's not no threat. Like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Like even when you look at prey, that like prey, it watched the cycle. It watched a snake, you know what I'm saying, snatch up a gerbil or some shit, and then all the way up the chain to a bear. Then they had to see the bear because they was like, okay, that's the apex predator. And then amongst the hunters, it wanted to see who the best hunter was, and then challenge yourself up against the best hunters. But there's a lot of people that be out here, like, and I say it's kind of odd. It's kind of, I would love to get Keys' take on it, man, because he actually be fighting in boxing and he got a background in it and he do it on a regular basis, right? So I'm like, I'm looking at it like in one breath, it's like, okay, you are in a dangerous profession and you a boxer. You get hit in the head for a living. Right, there are some things that you should be looking for as far as advantage. Like if you the A side, yeah, I can see you wanting a ring that would cater more towards you. If you like to use your legs more, okay, you want a little bit more space. You know, you want to select the kind of gloves. You know, you kind of there's certain things that you want to select, right? But I've been harping on this, right? And as a guy who I've never boxed professional, I've been fighting all my life, but I never boxed professional. But as a guy, it's like looking at boxing, I've been finding it over the years that these fighters are always looking for more and more advantages. It's like, okay, up until one extent, like up until a certain extent, how many advantages do you really want or need? To where it's just not, it's like it's unfair. It's like it's the same thing I was trying to explain the other day. When I said, look, man, I already know T.O. can't cut off the ring. I don't like at one point in time, the Devin and T.O., that was like a very like interesting fight. But because of marination and matchmaking and them guys being prima donnas and all the messy shit, it missed its time. Boxing is about timing. It missed its time, and I was like, man, T.O. ain't gonna be able to cut the ring off, and Devin gonna run around like he's like climbing up, because they say they were running towards Mount Rushmore. He gonna act like he on the side of Mount Rushmore getting ready to reach up to the capstone if he get in there with Teofimo Lopez and get his hand raised, even if he looked like the Flash running around the ring playing Ring Around the Rosies for 12 rounds with the man. I was like, no, we wanted T.O. to get a ultimate beat down. And I said, yeah, even though Boots would be the guy to do it, I said, man, no, because what did that tell us about Boots? I'm tired of these 40s moving up and seeing Boots spike these 40s. Now, full credit for Martin Stanyanis. He made that man retire in the stool. Man, we kind of look at Martin Stanyanis a little different. Made me look at him a little different. But I'm like, okay, I want to see Boots be on some Predator shit too. Not to where you just the biggest, baddest thing, you know what I'm saying, in the jungle, and you just waiting for smaller creatures to creep in. Like, no, be on some Predator shit where you seek out the best. Where you sit back and you study and you watch and you say, okay, all right, okay, I see. Like the way, listen, everybody knew that Sabril Matias was a Predator when he was in there. When he had his strap, he still is. But there was a point in time when he called all of them, Devin, Roley, and yeah, I think it was Devin, Roley, and T.O. He had called them out, and they didn't want to fight him. And they played all these games in the Haney voice. They played all these games, and I was surprised with Sabril Matias being Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised that they did that, but their love for Devin Haney is stronger than that of a love between a man and a woman, I swear. You know what I'm saying? They got some kind of weird, funny love, but they did a lot of caping and capping. And that fight never happened. And they encouraged Devin to become Dev Dollars and go play in the sandbox with Ryan, and boom, look at what happened. But we in the era now where like a lot of these boxers not really on no predator shit. Like some young ones, some of the young up and coming ones, they are. They want to see, they want to cut their teeth. They really want to see, they want to measure. It's like it's a couple young ones that I think is Abdullah like that. I think that guy Tito Mercado like that. I would say Rohan Polanco, I think he's kind of like that. I think even with all of his accomplishments, I think Noah Inoue is like that. I think David Benavidez is like that. There are a couple guys that really want to see, they want to know. I think Bivol was like that. So a lot of guys out here that's like actually like that. They actually give you hope, but like the young guys, especially the ones that's like popular or the ones that like big media get a hold of, they do this thing to where in real time they gaslight. I'm gonna play something for y'all. I got something, but in real time they do this shit where they'll gaslight the shit out of you and make it seem like this. It's just like when I told y'all about Sean Zattel, who had that dude that was like, I think this dude was 42-0. And he was on there talking about, yeah, I want to see Tank. Nobody knew who this dude was. Nobody knew nothing about him. Well, a couple weeks ago, I think he was in that combat league, got his ass waxed in one round. Got his ass obliterated. I was like, see, y'all got to stop that gaslight, man. Y'all got to stop putting respect on people, man. Just because the man don't fight each and every guy that y'all want the dude to fight, that don't mean he ain't no predator, bro. We've seen him in mismatches where he don't have all the advantages. So to let all these guys and for these people to gallivant around and prance around like all these other guys are actually really better than the man in the division. We all, in every division, we know pretty much who the man is. I think right now, quiet as kept what people are saying at 140, people keep talking about Gary Antoine Russell. But it's real crazy how nobody ever, until they say, oh, well, yeah, until they want to like weaponize him as like being the big stick for whoever they want to get splattered by. That's the only time they recognize him. But it's funny how they never want their favorite fighter to fight this guy. He's always like an afterthought. Even though he got slightly defanged by Alberto Puello, who's not really known for his power skill boxer. Right now, people are defaulting to say Boots is the, you know what I'm saying, is the apex predator at 147. You know, some people say that Brian Norman Jr. might be, but Boots might be more proven at this point. People know who the guy in the divisions are. They know Tank is that guy at 135. They gaslight you because they want to get behind somebody else. That's just how it is. So when I was evaluating Keyshawn, I was like, man, it's some of this shit is like salute Bills, XL. So the weight bully was unsuccessful. Yes. Salute Bills, but yeah, that's what I'm getting at. When I was looking at Keyshawn, man, I was looking at the moves. When he did that knock shit, saying, okay, once I unify, I'm going for you, I'm coming for you. And when that next fight happened, I was like, okay, cool. Well, if you go ahead and get that strap, right? And then you say what you need to say after that fight, especially with having all them people down there, I'm pretty damn sure Tank gonna take you serious. Like right now, you got to get in line. You got to get in line and see, for us that was actually fans of Tank and fans of Shakur, you know what I'm saying? You already know who I got all the way up top. I got Tank all the way up top, but we already know, man, this is like this is what this has been. This has been the Cold War. This, get in line. We want to see this. We've been wanting to see this before you came on the scene. This is what we've been waiting for. All of this got rearranged. And guess I never even got time to put Key up in here where Baranchek was. But we have been wanting to see that this was a Cold War, right? Get in line, man. All these people saying his name, get in line. But we've been wanting to see Tank versus Shakur before it get too goddamn late, before some stuff like Spence and Bud, whatever, that shit was too late. You know what I'm saying? If we gonna keep it honest and we ain't gonna just be eating sausages like we be doing all the time. Beanie weenies and Franks and footlongs and all quarter pounders and all kind of shit. If we gonna keep it a buck. But when he didn't do that, I said, oh man, hold on, man. So you been clout chasing? I said, you know damn well you over there with Top Rank. Nobody kept it a buck. Nobody kept it a buck and kept it real on the situation and what Key was doing, man. He was clout chasing. Then I got off of it and I said, look, he making a name for himself. He got a strap. At least he did that. He got his own career. Maybe he gonna try to build himself up and do all this. Nobody said nothing about the matchmaking. Nobody said nothing about it. They were just singing the praises, like just blind praises, right? So I got to get this back up right here. These are all the things that just got exposed. Now, this is prior to me hearing about the fight being called off. These are all the things that Keyshawn did in this whole thing right here, like in this whole situation. These are all the things that he exposed. Weight bullying. He been weight bullying. Clout chasing. He been clout chasing. Matchmaking. There's been heavy matchmaking. Biased media. Let's stop right there. Let's parking lot the biased media. And I'm going to play this. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, all's fair in love and war. Even though this is not war. This is just me being this is me being observant and me knowing what the fuck I be talking about in real time and speaking on it, only for people to go behind me and come behind me, get paid for it, get recognition for it. But I came across something today, man. I came across something today, and I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and I'm gonna put this up here because this is just for fair use. This is for, and I hope he don't be no. I hope they don't be no little pansies when I do this. But I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all because just like I just talked about Zatel and how he had that dude over there that was 42-0 that he allowed to be able to say he was pumping him up like he should really be able to fight Tank. Nobody even knew this dude. He just went over there in that combat lead and got his ass obliterated. Got splattered, like got knocked down like 2-3 times, got the shit beat out of him. And I'm like, man, y'all gotta stop doing that. But this is going to epitomize what I be talking about as far as how media be playing you. So listen to the tone of this conversation. Listen to this shit now versus all the gaslighting that him and Tim. Now, Tim been coming around and Tim been keeping it all the way funky here lately. I'm not going to deny that. But listen to this. I just want y'all to hear the beginning of this. Because I want to show y'all what happens, how they gaslight you up. They'll gaslight you in real time. And then they'll come around and then tell you what it really is when they don't get their way. Listen to this. Listen to this. Let me put this up here. Copyright disclaimer under Section 104 of Copyright Act 1976. This allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. I'm not infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair. We're just trying to tip the balance in favor of fair. But I'm this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Let me play this. Let me play this. And I'm gonna pause it and comment on it. Listen.
Down in Norfolk, Virginia, winds up missing weight by over 4 pounds. Weighs in at 139.3 pounds on his first attempt. It looks like he will not be able, barring some miracle in the second weigh-in, to hold on to the WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. This was Keyshawn's first title defense against Edwin de los Santos. This was Keyshawn's play here. He went to Bob Arum, selected de los Santos for this fight, and now in missing weight, it'll be difficult for him to get credit. I'm going to get to a couple things, and then we'll let Raheem, cook.
That's why. So they gave him credit. They gave him credit. They said this was his play. This was his pick. They gave him credit. Our money. Salute. Ray B. Bad for business. Man, salute. So listen. He gonna break it down. Listen.
Because he always does. But a few things I want to point out. And I didn't see this coming. I certainly didn't think Keyshawn would miss weight. But in being able to cover these guys up close, we see changes in them. They grow, they change through the ups and downs of their careers and life. And I saw Keyshawn, and he's far from the first one I've seen do this.
Okay, so listen. Just because you're not sitting down and reporting on these guys, if you be following them and you do content, especially as long as I've been doing content like here, and you've been following them, you see change. Like I saw changes. I saw changes and said it, but I wasn't credible because I wasn't the one sitting down with them. This is what we got to start doing. When you have a responsible dialogue and you trying to give these guys a fair shake, this is what you got to do. Just because somebody ain't sitting down doing interviews with these guys don't mean that they can't be observant and make observations and make key analysis and points. But listen to what he's saying. I got to do that so I won't, get striked for playing all this stuff. But listen.
In becoming a champion and winning his first title, get a little bit of that hubris about him. And I remember before he went to fight Baranchik in New York, he came up to me and said, "I didn't like what you said on the Porter Way about Andy Cruz," and he was playful about it, but serious, but playful. And I loved it. That's the kind of relationship I really want to develop with the fighters, where they feel comfortable telling me, "Hey, I think this is some bullshit you said, and I didn't like it because of this and that and this and that." And I can come back to them and hold my ground and say, "Well, this is why I said it." And we can agree to disagree, or we can have a mutual understanding or whatever. But it's all good, and they speak their piece, and I say my piece, and on we go. And then I get ready to interview him for this fight, Raheem. And it was a different energy. It was
a different energy. What we be trying to say? We be trying to be on that Errol Spence shit. Keep that same energy. It was a different energy. The energy been different, y'all. You ain't got to sit down and interview these guys to know when the energy changed, man. You can, if you were being right and exact and just about what they're doing and not a yes man, you would have been spoke about it.
Or like he had the smoke for me. Which is fine, and I'm sure you go through this too. Like, we wrestle with these thoughts. Is it my ego? Am I being a crime baby? Am I the one getting some of the accountability that these fighters and athletes are throwing their way, and now I'm getting it? And am I being a big baby about it? Am I being sensitive? But oh no, you're on mute, Rocky. You're on mute. What were you gonna say?
What did he say when you said he had something for you? The smoke this week?
So this was heading into this fight, and he starts the interview by saying, no questions about Shakur, because he had tweeted.
So they do be telling them. So right now, if you can take control and you can tell the person you sit down, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, right? which is kind of like a smart thing when you're ahead of it, right? But so that means anything that comes up in conversation, especially that comes from direct from a boxer, from their point of view, on their own, that means they're voluntarily to dip off into another subject. That's parking lot that, y'all. But let them continue.
He had tweeted something about Shakur and Richardson Hitchens, and they should get married. And, you know, of course I was going to ask about it to clarify it, because we don't fully know what he means by that. He could be talking about Hitchens and Kambosos and not Hitchens and Stevenson and whatever. So he starts off by letting us know, hey, this is the stuff that's off the table. And I'm like, all right, fine, you know, whatever. We got to talk about the De Los Santos fight and big fights in the division anyway. So whatever, no big deal. But throughout the interview, he's correcting me a lot and saying, you guys that cover boxing don't really know about fighting. You know about boxing, but you don't know about fighting. And just trying to put me in my place in a couple of different areas about Canelo Crawford and Tank and Roach's rematch and all that kind of stuff.
So let me brief y'all now. You probably asking yourself, why now? Why are you being forthright right now? Because they're turning, and this is something that media does all the time. This is something media does all the time. They will gaslight the shit out of the fans, gaslight the shit out of anybody who's listening, right? When they're jockeying to get the likes, the clicks, the views, the attention, have all of the moments. And the minute they start seeing some shit go down south, or start really seeing some stuff to where it's like, oh, this ain't gonna turn out. Some of us from a distance can see that shit right away. So you asking yourself, why now? Because they already seen the tide turning. It's about to get messy. Media about to really start showing their true colors. They about to really start telling you all of the stuff. They about to start spilling all of the tea.
And, you know, that's all fine, but I'm noticing that shift after winning the title. And I've seen it with other fighters before. And it is what it is. It comes with the territory of being that great fighter. You gotta, you know, it's you against the world. And anybody who's not going along with it, they're the ops and all, you know, and all that. So, but I saw it, and I felt that on Sean's show too, on the Porter Way, when we had him on the couch after he won the title. And that's fine, but I took note of it. And then fight week gets here, and he's talking about no unification with Raymond Murataya. I can only, you know, I'm already paying one sanctioning body. And I thought, oh, that's Floyd Mayweather. Like that, Floyd has been visiting Keyshawn in the gym. And, you know, I could be wrong, but I thought right away, like, that's a Floyd Mayweather. That's game from Floyd Mayweather.
About, like, what we talked about yesterday when it came to Devin Haney, when it came to people trying to emulate what they think is the way to get your money and to be the boss. You know,
So this is somebody, these are people of prestige, well-known names in the media. And they saying that these guys are trying too much to be like Floyd. That's parking lot that.
The young man, you are looking for what kind of man you want to be and what patterns you want to follow and what examples you think would best create the life that you want to live. And trial and error. And again, in front of the world, it can happen. I know what you mean. When they get that title, they get that little extra shine. Along the way, they may have been humble. Along the way, they may have been willing to listen and answer questions and be challenged. And all of a sudden, you're sitting down, talking shit on Twitter, creating beef, saying weird stuff. And now all of a sudden, that's off the table?
Okay, so in real time, they wasn't saying he was creating beef and talking shit. They was co-signing it. Why they telling the truth now?
What, man, it's Saturday night's coming up. You're not a fucking superstar, and even if you are, you should be willing to back up what you say publicly, and you really aren't in a position, I don't think, really, to be fair, as the press should be in any sport.
Y'all remember that? Why do you build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down? They build you up to break you down. It's good. It's all good when you talking that shit and they get to be seen with you and say, they can say, oh, check out my interview. It be all good then. But some people be online keeping it in the buck like, hold on, man. Why he say this? Oh, man, you're just hating. You just hating all the time, man. Just come on, you just a D rider. Now they telling you the truth and they telling you how they really feel. Hindsight looking ass. Hindsight of 2020 looking asses.
Including boxing, really shouldn't be able to take anything off the table. I think as a professional, as a journalist, there's certain things you take off the table yourself based on your own integrity and professionalism. But if a fighter or an athlete has said something publicly or there's a public incident to address, the idea that an athlete can then say, oh, we're not allowed to ask questions about it. You can say no comment. You can even say, I don't want to talk about that. But you can't take it off the table. You can't say, I can't ask a question about it. And especially if it's something that is in the conversation because you created it. There's certain things I won't.
Now shout out to radio, because that's how I be feeling online when I be saying, okay, we're gonna judge these boxers, we're gonna put them all on a scale, right? We're gonna use the same standard in judging. But when I get around people who have a particular favorite and they like them, it's like certain shit. I say they are untouchables. There are untouchables in the sport to where you try to grade or judge or talk about them like you do everybody else is off limits. So I agree with radio with that. As an interviewer, you should have tact, and I think Marcos Villegas, I think he's probably one of the best in the game that does it. He's one of the best in the game that does it. He asks the tough questions, but you can see the spirit behind how he conducts his interviews and how he does everything to where we're going to have a good outcome and we're going to get all our answers, but it's not in a malicious way. But no, there shouldn't be anything off limits. You and the boxer should have an understanding, just like you when you online and you talking that boxing. Y'all should have an understanding that we're trying to go somewhere with this. We're trying to have an objective. We're trying to enlighten. We're trying to, you know what I'm saying, leave people informed. Have them walk away with something in their rucksack that they can march on with and be beneficial. Not just always be tearing down and all that. So I side with them in that.
Ask about if it's personal life stuff that has nothing to do with boxing. I try to find where my line is. But as soon as you tell me I can't ask something, trust and believe, that's the first thing I'm going at, and that's what I'm going to start digging on. Because why not? Why not? If in this case, just a power play. He wants to test the limits. Wants to see just how much sway he has. Are you afraid?
Power. What can let me flex it on you and put you in your place, motherfucker, a little bit.
And see if you'll kowtow to that. If you'll, respect the line that he's drawn. We've seen it all before, but it's a bit disappointing, especially on something so silly. Just defend it or be like, I don't know what I meant by that. I was up late and tripping. That's also an acceptable answer. You don't have to be right. You have to be perfect. But go on. Okay, I'm catching the vibe. I'm catching the vibe.
You've been around the vibe, so you've been seeing the movie, yeah. So and Keyshawn's been priding himself on the businessman. Like that's his moniker, and it's not just a moniker to him. He wants to make it the real thing, right? And
hold on now. Bodywork said back when the whole thing happened with the weed incident, it wasn't the fact that it was the weed, right? It was just, okay, if you pride yourself on being a businessman, you're supposed to know what state you're fighting in and how the rules and regulations, that's part of running a business, man. So now, Sean Zattel is questioning the businessman aspect of it. This is wild.
He's ahead of the curve in his development at 13 fights, going to the old man Bob Arum's office and saying, I want this at this date. And I know he likes that. He likes that he's already picking the opponent and telling his promoter what to do instead of the other way around, right? But I think of it and I'm like, does boxing need another businessman? Mike Tyson said, I was a fighter and these guys are businessmen. And again, there becomes this false binary if you bring this up, like, oh, you want us to just shut up and fight, shut up and dribble. And one day we're punch drunk after giving you a million good fights and our promoters robbed us and you guys wrote a bunch of stories or did a bunch of videos about us. And you know what I mean? No, I don't want that. You do have to be a businessman. But what the sport needs is not just that businessman. And this is what I would hope for Keyshawn long term. And in Keyshawn, a microcosm of fighters going forward is reconcile the Mayweather gospel, right? The being a great businessman with the old gospel, which was be a true champion, fight all comers, be hungry for glory and all. find the medium ground, and that's what I hope for Keyshawn Davis, and I think he can do it. You know, I'm optimistic.
I love the way Santel put that. I would love that too. If they found the middle ground, take a little bit from Floyd, especially the discipline part. You know, if you can talk a little shit with some charisma, okay, cool. But then the other part is like challenging yourself, not always having all these goddamn advantages. You know what I'm saying? And still seeking some kind of glory.
Optimistic about his future just because he blows weight, still optimistic about everything. But when he starts talking about,
like what you,
yeah,
sorry,
no,
I like what you call it a blowing weight. It's not. There's missing weight. There's not making weight, and then there's blowing weight. Was it 4.5 pounds? Am I correct?
4.3 pounds.
4.3 pounds. That's not even trying to make weight. That's like, I need a real explanation on how you did it, getting even close to making weight. That's like, I don't need the extra time and try to get it off. When I showed up today, I knew I wasn't making weight. How long before the weigh-in did you stop trying? And what does this mean to your mentality as a champion? Like you talk.
Exactly, Raheem. Exactly, bruv. Like 4.3. Now I remember the outrage. I remember the outrage when Ryan did it. It was all this fake ass public outrage, and Devin went ahead and paid, and he agreed to having it. But it's been outrage. They talked about that weight shit for so long. They said he didn't even try. He didn't even try to make weight. He just blew weight. Like radio said, he just blew weight. That speaks to your mentality. Like that was intentional.
About
it's your first title defense.
Well, it's your first. It's your first. And any champion will tell you the only thing harder than winning a championship is keeping it. But boy, it's a hell of a lot harder to keep it if you don't try. Unless there's some other explanation. I don't understand. In your first title defense, you're a young man. This is what is this, your 16th fight? Like you're still 14th. This is the 14th fight. You're still so early in your career. How could you possibly?
So this is what I be trying to tell you. So now this is I've been doing this for a minute, y'all, and see now. So now they're recognizing that it's still early. So what was all this crowning of the what? What was you crowning before? But I was hating when I was questioning it. I was a hater when I was questioning this. But now it's like, oh, you still so early. Yeah, it's very early. Just got a strap, didn't even defend it. And who you got the strap from never came up in question. The dude that you fought in an eliminator coming off of a loss, bringing them down from 40 to 35 after he fought under the IBF 10-pound rehydration. But now it comes into question. This is media, man. This is media.
A newly crowned champion in your first defense, blow weight by damn near 5 pounds, 4.3 pounds. Was there any explanation? Is there anything offered as a what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like
I suspect he'll just say he's outgrown the division. You know what I mean? That's what I suspect is what he'll say.
He'll say what?
I just suspect he's going to say I've outgrown the division.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Okay. I would say
Devin Haney when he was defending the title against Lomachenko, but he still made weight. Haney had outgrown the division by then, but he made weight.
If you're 4.3 pounds outgrown the division, you know that before you make the fight. That's not something you find out in camp. I mean, I'm sorry, man. That is that's a hard explanation to accept. To be fair, you know.
But I'm not gonna steal their thunder, man. We're gonna stop right there. That's a wonderful. It's titled Keyshawn Davis misses weight for De Los Santos. What to make of the businessman blunder? That's the title of that video. That's by Sean Zattel. Check it out, man. But see, that's the mentality. And see, I'm glad I didn't say this. Garfield said this. Keyshawn think that because he with Crawford and Bomac, he is special. I've already been saying, man. I said the same thing about Shakur. And I said, man, it's kind of crazy. And in my breakdown, man, it was so prophetic because I said, listen, it's one thing when you in the shadow, when you live in. I just did this video. Was it not last night? The night before last. I said, when you living in the shadows of Pernell Whitaker, when you living in the shadows of a Pernell Whitaker, you're sitting down from SOG, Son of God, Andre Ward, right? Shakur Stevenson is your brother. And when I said DB4, that caught on pretty good. you start saying, okay, yeah, that's great company to be keeping, but as far as where you at and where you're going to go, you're not there to be looked at like you're in there with them. It's great to have that relationship, but it's almost embarrassing to say that you called up and you for your sparring partner was like, wow, because he said, I was just chilling and I was thinking and I was in my garage and I called up Floyd. So you even had Floyd in your training camp. You had Floyd in your training camp. Let me say it one more time. You had Floyd in your training camp. And I said, man, there's something else when you got icons. You got icons. You had the mayor. You had Michael Vick. You had Allen Iverson. I could stop right there. And then you pulled that shit. And look at this. Remember I just did this? Potential prototype. I just did this piece on Abdullah. And don't say I don't have the power of influence, because look at that picture. When I said the prototype, look at that cartoon picture. What is the picture that Ring Magazine used with that same exact image in a cartoon form, only they added Keyshawn in a cartoon form? Tell me you ain't see this at Bodywork first. When I said the prototype, so then you pull this shit on Abdullah Mason, you put him on the spot, and you knew damn well, because they just don't take my word for it, take Radio Raheem and Sean to tell. Radio Raheem said verbatim that this was a mentality, like you almost had to do this intentional, like this was a mindset, you intentionally did this. So you sit down and you try to put egg on the young Abdullah Mason face because he said, I'm earning mine. I'm basically working my way up. Basically, in a roundabout way, he said, I like Kevin Gates, I got it out the mud. So you put him on the spot and said, well, let's fight next. Knowing damn well you was about to blow weight. So that was caps. This is what I be trying to say, man. It's all good when you promoting yourself, right? And you're establishing your brand and you're building your business, man. It's not okay when you got to do it to trash somebody else's brand, somebody else's business, man. And that's what you did to this young dude. You had them people out there booing him and doing all this, and look at what happened. He gonna headline the show. You just gave him a whole audience. All over the place, yipping and yapping, talking to a little bit of everybody, and all people wanted to do was just sing your praises. Nobody wanted to say, hey man, listen man, chill out. I was just talking about what happened to Regis when he fought Zarilla and how he went home and how it was just so much. And now you a champion, you coming back, they putting you in there up there with Pernell Whitaker, homie. You didn't have to do that to Abdullah. You up there, like the way they treated Nair Albright. I understand talking the trash and all that. The way they treated Nair Albright, and I heard buttfuck tuberculosis talking about the man teeth. Whose teeth stick out like that, man? I'm just trying to say, like, spend like 15 minutes talking about Nair Albright's teeth. That shit is toxic. We just want to see boxing. So that's why I be trying to say, man, like, cause I for a second I called him Cap Sean, and I said I don't like it. I said because it seemed like, man, you rubbing like people like for myself as a Tank fan, you rub me the wrong way when I'm trying to give you your credit. I'm trying to, you know, be open to like supporting you and being down, but like I don't like when boxers, in order to lift up, and a lot of people do this in conversation, in order to defend their boxer or their talking points, they gotta trash another boxer. You didn't have to do that with Abdullah Mason. That showed character. Could some of this be karma? Because I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but I remember when Gustavo Lemos blew weight. That man, Keyshawn, eyes was so big. He said, I'm about to get, how much money I'm about to get? He said, oh, man, he going to give me some of that money, man. Yeah, because he going to owe me. And they made such a big deal about the dude blowing weight. And as a champion, you got to say that was intentional. And all that I outgrew the weight shit, I don't want to hear that, man, because I was trying to tell people. I seen a picture with him and Avius Griffin. I said, man, this dude look bigger than Avius Griffin. Avius Griffin been making his bones at 140 at welterweight. I seen a picture with him and Tiger Johnson. He would look bigger than Tiger. Tiger just got up there to welterweight. Just now starting to feel comfortable. A dude, Rohan Polanco, looked smaller than them all. He went up there to 47 because he couldn't get no smoke. At 40, and I thought he should have stayed at 40. Everybody blew me off. They thought I was just hating because they was trying to. They was thinking that I was just saying that or implying that he was weight bullying. He was weight bullying. He has been weight bullying. My man said when he seen him at the face-off. Looking across from De La Santos, he was like, man, he said, is it me or was Keyshawn just towering over De La Santos? I said, man, it might be the shoes. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, he might got them Prince pumps on. And we laughed about it. I said, but yeah, I've been trying to tell y'all the dude is big. So these are all the things that's been exposed, man. Like, and so in real time, man, you gotta respect. Like for me, man, I'm in the heart. Like I don't hate on boxers, man. I know they could be jumping through somebody's window. They could be, you know what I'm saying, robbing banks. They could be doing, you know what I'm saying. They could be doing a whole lot of wheeling and dealing. Being the neighborhood pharmacist. There's so many different things they could be doing out here. I applaud them all for getting it wrong. I don't hate. I just try to give an honest assessment and try to balance out the conversation. I don't want to sit around and eat sausage all day. I prefer that fish. But nah, that's a little joke. They never going to be like, that's what I be trying to say, living in the shadows of somebody else, trying to follow in the footsteps of somebody else, and they're not them. Like I always say that, like Keyshawn shows flashes of Bud, but he's not Bud. He's not Bud. Shakur shows flashes of Mayweather. He's not Mayweather. Devin shows flashes. He's not Mayweather. Easily baked, say salute, chat. That's what bullies do. Yeah, like bullying. Like, and then the same dude, the dumbass dude that just got done talking about Nair Albright T, butt fuck tuberculosis, gonna turn around and say, I don't like bullies either. Negro, please. That's all you do. You got a panel full of D-Riders and then challenge somebody. I got no beef. And I got no beef. Trust me, I got no beef. But come up here. Trust me, I got no beef. Man, you say something out of line, that's it. You're blocked. Never come back. Inviting people to your privates. Tell me I don't like bullies. That's all y'all do. So Mason gonna be the main event. See now, this I got like 20 minutes before I went live, I found the news that the fight was actually off. Now, was this a calculated risk or a dumbass gamble? I think it was a dumbass gamble, man. thinking that you were just going. And I'm like, okay, how dangerous was De Los Santos? Because part of it is, you know, when you intend, like when you say I have no desire, because you notice the title, you know what I said. He refused to make weight. He said he wasn't even going to try. That means he just straight up forfeited the belt. Mr. Gary Russell Jr., he said he had to cut like 5 pounds the night before he fought Lomachenko. And people will brag about how Lomachenko got that pelt on the wall, but they don't count the fact that Mr. Gary Russell knocked down Lomachenko and should have got the points. And had he had been awarded that knockdown, that fight would have been different. The outcome of that fight would have been different. But he cut that 5 pounds. They put no respect on Mr. Gary Russell Jr. The longest reigning champ, 6 years, 352 days. He reigned with his belt. He took it serious. That was a bad gamble, man. And De Los Santos, I'm like, man, yeah, because people were saying he could save the day. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, I think that was kind of smart. Like, why would you do that? Like, knowing intentionally. So what I be trying to say is, like, this is the double. Okay, let me get back. Let me put this up so y'all know where I'm going with this. We just went over biased media, right? And I appreciate them doing this. Like, I appreciate the truth when it come out. I appreciated that interview. Lots of nutritional value. But what I be trying to say in real time when y'all doing these interviews, let's just keep it a buck. When we talking about boxing, let's just keep it a buck. Don't wait till hindsight. We're not going to respect it. Sausage eating fans, I touched on that, but sausage eating fans. That's parking lot right there. Sausage eating fans. Everybody was ragging on Ryan when he blew weight. That was like the highlight. Everybody was ragging on Gustavo Lemos when he blew weight. Now that Keyshawn do it, oh well, man, I'm gonna put it like this, man. We already knew he was getting too big for the weight. But why was he clout chasing? You can't have it both ways. And fake ass promotional schemes. Some people were trying to say that whole shenanigans with him saying that to Abdullah Mason. With him saying that to Abdullah Mason, though they just promoting it and maybe that'll be a fight down the line. No, that's a fake ass promotional scheme. And I gotta remind you, don't it seem like every time this man fight, it's some kind of scheme or some kind of, that's why I said, man, you can hate me if you want to, but I say, man, you gotta appreciate how PBC do things. There might be a storyline, like it's going to be a storyline between Zoo and Fundora when it comes up, because they share history. It's going to be a storyline. If Keith Thurman and Errol Spence ever decide they want to get down and throw down the ones and twos, it's going to be a storyline. When Jamel come back, you know, in my heart of hearts, like Mike Tyson said, because Mike Tyson had called for Bud and Jamel. Mike Tyson said he wanted to see Bud fight Jamel. That should be the fight we should be getting at 154. Not this freak show we about to get, but I'm going to digress. There will be a storyline. But when PBC do things, it ain't all this extracurricular shit going on about how some bananas and some watermelons and all this, or somebody throwing some paint on somebody, or y'all ever noticed that? It's like here lately, when it come down to a certain place, it's always some kind of gimmicky ass storyline, some kind of made like either racist or whatever. And let me park on like this. If we gonna get upset with T.O., like how I was, part of me feel bad for the guy, part of me don't. Because you used the wrong tactic to offend the wrong group of people. But if we're gonna be mad at that, man, let's stop this colorism shit. Let's stop this light-skinned, dark-skinned shit. It ain't no place for that, to try to build no fight or try to, oh, he light-skinned and all that. That's the dumbass shit, because if it ain't, I noticed another thing around Keyshawn. If it ain't something about racism, like that shit that's going on with him and Tio that they've been clout chasing off, it starts becoming colorism with him and Tank. The light-skinned, dark-skinned shit. Ain't that something? Fake-ass promotional schemes. We don't need a whole bunch of fake-ass promotional schemes. This is not wrestling. These are not the stories. We don't need all of that. We just need to know, hey, man, yeah, we got a track record. Like you and Andy Cruz. That's history. It's a track record. It's a built-in storyline. It don't gotta be nothing built in. Nobody ain't gotta throw no pain on nobody. Ain't nobody gotta send nobody no tacos or no bananas or no, whatever. But if y'all notice, if y'all peep game, it's always some crazy fake promotional scheme. And then narratives and fake outrage. All these narratives. He the best at lightweight, and he got a nice set of skills. The ceiling is very high. But the fake outrage be when people be trying to talk, when somebody do something like in the same, all that outrage y'all have for Gustavo Lemos, all that outrage y'all have for Ryan. You want to know the difference? Y'all want to know the difference? Y'all want to know the difference? I'll let y'all know if y'all want to know the difference. Ryan wasn't a champion. Gustavo Lemos had just lost a title eliminated and got pulled down. He wasn't a champion. Keyshawn Davis was a champion. And just like they ragdoll all these other people before them who blew the scales. Like, I mean, I ain't never heard nobody blow. Like, I don't know, it's been a minute since I seen or heard somebody damn near you brought this man off of the layoff. Now I gave him full credit off of the layoff. I kind of swept the whole, blood clot, the shoulder, the inactivity. I swept all that under the rug trying to make a great case. It's on wax. Making a great case to why this is a dangerous fight. But with all things considered, and I remember the Haney voice sitting up there talking about, oh man, let's blame Al Heyman. Here go the PBC, man. How they gonna set this man up like this? They gave they put De Los Santos in the opportunity to get another title shot. I don't know if that's being set up, then set me up, god damn it. And they was concerned because of De Los Santos and the 10-pound rehydration. Never taking a look at Keyshawn. That be that bias shit. Just because you got a whole bunch of people sitting around listening to you and people call and pay you money and you gaslight people all day, that don't mean that the shit that you say be right and exact. It don't. But I noticed that a lot of the Breakfast Club, modeling yourself after the Breakfast Club, that's all they do. Sensational, gossipy type shit. So people gonna sit around and try to get the tea. Okay, cool, no harm, no foul. That's your vein. But don't gaslight the hardcores. So they was looking at De Los Santos and he was painting this narrative like it was gonna be all hard for De Los Santos and then the 10-pound rehydration. And golly, what happened with Keyshawn? He the one that blew weight. They never looked at him. He was the champion. So not only did you have the blood, the man came off of a blood clot. The man had a shoulder injury. The man was inactive. And then you intentionally come in damn near at 140 to try to defend a 135 strap. And then you say, you know what, I'm just going to let it go, man, nah. And then you come on and say, well, truth of the matter is, I was going to go to 40 this whole time. That's why I be trying to tell you, like, all them times when people were talking about this guy over here, the little guy over here with the WBA, how he been ducking everything. If you look at the lineage of the belt, that's why I checkmate all that bullshit when it come down to who ducking and who needed to center off and who needed to do all of this. Because Top Rank been having them other 3 belts under their control this whole goddamn time. You can go all the way back. You can go all the way back to the Loma and the T.O., the Devin, the Camboses, all. Top Rank been having control over all them belts this whole time. But I guess online, 1 + 1 don't equal 2. It make 11. It make 11. A whole goddamn football squad of lies. That's what it makes up, huh? Right. This exposed a lot of people, man. Even how people trying to wash away. They talked to Avius Griffin after that. He's like, well, yeah, he had already said that, you know, he's getting. It's like, nah, man, nah, bro. They talked to Bub. Bub was like, well, hey, listen, man, people miss weight all the time, man. It you know, it happens. Nah, bro. That's why I say, man, when, like, I don't know. I was telling my lady, man, before I came on, I was like, man, when we grew up, man, I remember times when I was in the army or just, you know, I'm 44 now, but I remember when I was in my 20s, man, and I was wilding. And the next day they be like, man, Mike, you know what you did? Yes, like, man, come here, man. We gotta talk, man. Like, man, you remember what you did? Like, what, man? Like, man, you did this. I'm like, oh man, I did. Like, yeah, man. Like, come on, man. Why? Like, having those talk, like having people around you that care about you enough to pull you to the side and sit you down and have that real talk. People don't be want to have real talk. They just want to sing your praises. They just want to tell you all of the good stuff and all this. Oh no, you doing good. You doing like no. Somebody gotta have some. They call it accountability partners. People gotta hold you accountable and keep you accountable. You need people like accountability partners. Let's bring that back. Because as young men, we have people that will keep us accountable. We did something, man. We would sit down and talk and be like, hey, man, we can't be having you do this. You can't do that. You can't do this to, like, come on. And you felt bad, you felt shame, but like it was because they cared about you. People don't even want to do that. They want to sing your praises, right? And the minute you start going down by the wayside, they just gonna take it and do it all over you. People knew the half of the stuff that they be doing and saying, man, they be knowing damn well they know in real time what they doing. But we're in the flip-flop era where you can wait and in hindsight just flip over and be like, yeah, man, I finally convinced. Like, nah, you knew all this time. You were just riding the wave. He did just like Ryan Garcia. Yep. De Los Santos did the right thing. Sampson said he was protecting his fighter. I don't blame him, man, because, you know, we know Keyshawn got some power, but like, I think it's different, man. I just think it's different because you already going up against the champion. You already in the man's backyard. You already, like, you're up against it already. The deck is already stacked against you. Now, he was playing with the house's money, like I said, because nobody was expecting him to win. You know, I don't even know what the odds on favorite was. But, like, I think it might have been smart. It might have been smart. People say, oh, man, you know he need the money. It's like it was a gamble gone wrong. He gambled that the dude was just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to make the fight because I need that paycheck. I need that payday. But it might have been smart, and I don't blame him, man. Like, for me, it sucks as a fan because I really wanted to see that fight, man. Just like I used to want to see that Schofield and Shakur. Like, when that happened, I really wanted to see that fight, man. Here lately, I wanted to see that Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman. I wanted to see it. I wouldn't have mind that Xander Zayas and that Virgil Ortiz. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see Frank versus Shakur. I wanted to see it. This is just another one where I wanted to see it, and now, you know, I don't think we're gonna get. I said this a long time ago. I was like, man, we ain't never gonna see Keyshawn and Andy Cruz fight. And I reason why, I was like, man, I've been saying it. It's on wax, man. It's on wax. It's either here or over there at the smoke session when I be doing my thing over there. Well, it's on wax. I've already said it, man. We're not gonna see it. Because Keyshawn knew damn well. Keyshawn knew they wasn't gonna fight no Tank. That was just really, you know what that was? That was a smoke screen to get the heat off of Shakur ass. See, there we go. Koki, you see that? Koki, I remember you said it last year. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I'm trying to tell you, but I'll be hating, and I'll just be hating, and I'm just like, nah, well, I have no reason to. I was just telling my lady, like, cause she was the one suggesting, cause we went to the Boots fight, she was the one suggesting we go down there to the Keyshawn one. And I was just like, yeah, baby, well, we plan on going on vacation again. You know what I'm saying? We getting ready to go on vacation again soon. I was like, man, let's just relax from that. You know what I'm saying? Let's relax from that, you know. And I'm kind of glad we didn't do it. I mean, yeah, we would have got to see Abdullah, and the card is still lit. That's the saving grace, because the undercard is still lit. And with the whole show, with everything getting bumped up minus that fight, the card is still lit. The card is still lit. It's just not that cherry on top, that thing like where we didn't know, like where two predators was getting ready to face each other. We not gonna see that. What does he do next? Shakur made weight and beat Edwin with one hand. Give him his flowers. Yeah, I mean, I'd say, man, intelligent wise, I'll give him his flowers. I'll give him his flowers for that. You know, I mean, I wouldn't be in the mess hall with my chest out, but yeah, it does speak to his IQ, and, you know, maybe, you know, De Los Santos was kicking himself saying maybe I could have done more, but hey, man, he stuck his hand in the lion's mouth and was able to come out with all his phalanges, man. Salute to him. That's what I can say, you know, salute to him. Yeah, I save money. Hotel, all that, man. The drive, it's not that much of a drive. I think it's what, like 5 hours for me? I think that's a 5-hour ride. Nothing for me, really. I do that with my eyes closed. For real, but that's nothing. But yeah, I save money. But like, what does he do from here? You asked a good question. What does he do next? I think he in between a rock and a hard place, to be honest. I think he really in between a rock and a hard place. Either he gonna come out and say something like he was dealing with something, he can actually cut the weight and he can do this if he do that, because they knew about this fight for a long time. And Tim Bradley, don't take it from me, take it from Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley said, man, look, if he would have crawled on the scales, he would have gave him some credit, you know, and would have, you know, acknowledged it. He said, but man, shame on you, Keyshawn. That's how I feel. I'm like, shame on you for that, man. But if he go up to 140, man, he gonna be in the same situation. And I did a video. I had to do videos about Shakur when the same exact thing happened with Shakur, and I said, man, damn, because when he came from 30 and he blew the scales against Conceição, right? Not only do Conceição have an excuse, so it would have been an asterisk by that fight, he also lost his leverage. And when you move up without a belt and you just a tough out, whether they're gonna put the money or who gonna be the A side, B side, like when you a tough out or you kind of got some skills, but you don't got no no hardware or nothing, like, you know, you could say, yeah, former or, you know, whatever. Now you're a former. Now you're a former champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you're a former champ moving up. You might be a tough out, but guess what? I'm gonna say this, man, and I hope nobody don't get offended. You might be fooled at 40. You know why? It's the same thing I said about Devin. When you down there with those guys that's smaller than you, right? And you taking those guys on that's smaller than you, and you doing your thing against them, and you hydrating, and you bigger, you taller, you're longer, you're stronger, more high IQ. When you go up to where you're supposed to be, the ones that are closer to average will still give you problems. Why? Because at least they got the punch resistance of that weight class already. Depending on what kind of experience and what they've been through, you might have somebody with 3 or 4 losses that'll give you everything you want. Just one weight class above you. Why? Because they might be a middleweight sucking down to 140. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's somebody that know how to, the same way you was sucking down at 35, the same way Bud was getting down to 135 when he came in and he said he was not eating for 2 days and shit, going down to 35. It's somebody that might be doing that at 40. Might be young. Mike can still be getting away with it because their bone density ain't that thick yet. So they can hydrate up. You might be food. And since you ain't been fighting them guys, you probably been sparring them. And yeah, I know you spar with Bud and you spar with you spar with Shakur. It's just different. You get in that ring with them gloves, them small gloves with guys that's already been fighting at that weight class. Because we don't know. So you 100% say he'll go up there and be able to do anything with Subriel Matias. And I already told you the kryptonite. That's why this is another reason why I said we'll probably never see an Andy Cruz or a Shakur, because I think that Keyshawn's biggest adversity would be the pure boxer. It's not the brawler, it's not the mauler, it's not the one that's gonna stand there and trade, because that's what he thrives in. It's gonna be the pure boxer. The one that can move his feet, got a high IQ, can hit and not get hit. Can box when you want to fight, brawl when you looking to, you know what I'm saying, when you moving around chasing. So can he do anything with Alberto Puello? I don't know. A skilled boxer like Sandor Martin? I don't know. Is T.O. a foregone conclusion? I'm not sure. Because now T.O. can son you. Like, what you got to offer? You a former champ? Like, what? I mean, okay. So is that bad? I mean, even though they say something about the bad, but we don't even know what's going on. Plus, I don't give a fuck if T.O. get a payday. I mean, you know, at this point, at least until he apologized and actually showed, like, lip service ain't just nothing, but show some action. Do something that symbolize that, yeah, you feel bad for actually offending that group of people. Until then, I don't give a fuck. Well, he might. I mean, I'm not knocking him, though. I'm not saying, let me see, Tony P. Damn, bro, Keyshawn did y'all dirty. Keyshawn is all talk. He hasn't fought or beat anyone that any of us know, and he calling out Tank. Man, stop. I've been saying that, man. Man. Keyshawn Davis just fucked all his fans and all his people. Bro never intended to make weight. Nah, he going to 40. Bro didn't even look like he tried to make weight. He didn't. He never intended to do that shit, bro. And keep in mind, De Los Santos, yeah, it's been close to 2 years. Man, Keyshawn thought he was going to pull a quick one on that De Los Santos by trying to wait. Yeah, these dudes just be talking and not fighting. Shakur the same way. He hasn't fought anyone and hasn't beaten anyone we know, bro. Stop letting these guys steal our money. That's what I'll be trying to say, man. I said, when you look at it, because once I start putting them on the scale, I say, man, listen, man, we don't know who you are when you got all the advantages. It was people thought I was hating them. I said that about Devin. I said, man, this dude he like these Cougars. He like these Cougars. He like these people where he got all the advantages. I said, when are we going to see him against somebody where he don't have all the advantages? He got in there with Ryan where the advantages were mixed. You know, and look what happened. So now he in between a rock and a hard place because he been fighting older guys. You know, he got some legacy on him. You know, he got the straps and all that. But I'm talking about level of competition. Not having advantages. Like, I started looking closer at Shakur and I said, hold on, man, you just like been fighting a bunch of people where you had all the advantages. You know what I'm saying? That's not hating, but like when you got all the advantages, man, it's kind of hard to judge who you really are until you see some of those advantages and disadvantages kind of mixed up. It's just bullshit how he had everyone hype and shit, then pulls this. Yeah, man. It's embarrassing, man. You got the mayor, you got an icon like Mike Vick, you got an icon like AI, you got all your family, your brothers. And I said something about that when the brothers, but I also said, man, when you at home and all that pressure on, but it's like, hey, man, that's crazy, man. I'm like, damn. And then De Los Santos, he was like, all right, then. Because obviously the money wasn't right. And more information will come out, but obviously the money wasn't right. You know, something wasn't right. You know, so They couldn't come to an understanding because I remember he was bragging about how much extra money he was going to get from Gustavo Lemos. I guess they didn't want to sweeten that pot up enough for De Los Santos for him to take that risk. But De Los Santos he had already had a lot of the advantages. Like Keyshawn had already had almost all the advantages. It's like, that's what I be trying to say, man. That's not no predator shit. That ain't no Highlander shit. T.O. and Keyshawn should just fight straight up. No way. Ryan got all the praise for missing weight, though. I don't know if they praised him. They ain't praise him. They didn't praise him, but Lavelle Cannon, this is what you don't understand. Ryan was not the champion, bro. Like, this is what we gotta, like, okay, in this moment, you kind of gotta judge this shit in a vacuum. Keyshawn was the champion. It's his responsibility. It's his responsibility. Because if De Los Santos would have blew weight, you know what? Arrangements could have made, and they could have said, you know what? Fuck it. Abdullah, you up. As the champion, the onus lies on you. So Devin, he had Arnold Barbosa come to that, and I don't like getting back into this. Devin had Arnold Barbosa come to the very first press conference, and he said, Ryan, if you fuck up, we got a backup right here. I said, this is the first time where I ever seen somebody at the very first press conference, where I seen somebody bring the backup to the first press conference. They got all the way up to it. They figured out Ryan blew weight, and they agreed. And it was for extra cheese, cheddar, bread, mignon. He agreed to it. As the onus is on you as a champion. De Los Santos was the challenger. Ryan Garcia was the challenger. You know what I'm saying? The onus is on the champion, not the challenger. If the challenger do it, then he might be forfeiting his pay. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna, give up some bread, or he might not get a fight, and they might move somebody up. So you gotta judge it in a vacuum. We're not gonna deflect. It relies on the champion. Just like if your opponent blows weight, it's on you to decide whether you want to go for it or have somebody else, go in his place. Because if that was De Los Santos, they could have been like, hey, like I said, they could have been like, all right, then Abdullah, De Los Santos blew weight. We ain't giving him the fight. You want a shot at this tonight? What's up? Could have did that. Yeah, because they wanted to play the villain. That's right. And it flipped on them. That's right. 5 pounds was not right. Man, 5 pounds was just too much. He wasn't even trying. Call a duck. He didn't want that fight in the first place. And then I also said, okay, well, this is crazy how shit changed overnight. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. It's crazy how people were shitting on Abdullah Mason, right? Because he had a hesitation. I think he got caught off guard, right? He had a hesitation. They're like, oh, man, yeah, man. He don't want none of that smoke. Well, what does it say when you actually forfeit your belt, knowing that you just asked the man to fight you next and you forfeit the belt and that man's number 2? That kind of look kind of odd. Because let's somebody that you don't like, let's just replace that name. Let's just replace a Keyshawn with a Javante, and then that same shit happened. Oh my gosh. That shit would be on fire right now on the internet. People would do a marathon. People would stay up for 36 to 72 hours talking about that shit. In this case, not so much. A lot of people making excuses because of the affiliation in the camp and all that. Double standards. Boxing been doing this wrong lately. These dudes cherry picking who they want to fight. That's not how it was done back. That's why I say, man, that's what I be trying to say, man, on some predator stuff. They got to get back on their predator stuff, man. Nasty work. Yep. But Ryan was considered as the A-side fam because he bringing in the money. But Devin, I mean, he was, but Devin, I mean, think about it. Devin could afford Sabril Matias, T.O., O'Reilly. He chose, like, he went after the money. He said he was a legacy fighter. I'm not gonna make no excuses for him, man. I'm not making no excuses for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at what happened, him getting that bag, man. His career would look totally different. Because I guarantee you, they'll probably give you the politically correct answer and say, oh man, they have no regrets. You know, I'm not mocking not mocking this part of it. They'll say such and such is the perfect planner, right? They'll say that, but I guarantee you, man, behind closed doors, you put this man on a lie detector test and you ask him, do he regret even taking that fight with Ryan? I bet you if he say, no, I bet you that lie detector is gonna go ham. I bet you. Key was trying to do Santos dirty. Yeah, he was. 1 to 2 pound, but 5. Yeah, the business is going to treat Keyshawn bad after this BS. Yeah, they already showing it. I just showed y'all. I just told y'all how. Told y'all how they already showing it, y'all. But do me a favor, y'all. Probably gonna get a whole lot of people run out now, man. Hey, support the channel, man. If you like the content, if you digging the content, man, if you was entertained, man, hit that Cash App, hit that Super Chat, man. I gotta do it because people be stealing my stuff. I showed y'all one example right here when they look. You see this? They did this and they added Keyshawn and did him in the cartoon, and you gotta know that this was the influence of it because I used the old image of him when he had the braid with the purple shorts. They did the same. They used the same image, did the cartoon thing with them side by side after I did this video, man. Support the channel. Hit that Cash App, hit that Super Chat. It's monetized, man. Support your boy. Support your boy, man. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Hit the like button, subscribe, like, share the video, like, put somebody on. Donate to the channel, man. Por favor, señor. You say, yo, this ain't even about Ryan. At least Ryan was trying to fight people we knew. Tank, Rolly, Haney. Who has Davis fought that we knew? Give me one name, please. Right. Logged in fan, but the dream get too much hate after he was disciplined and did what he was supposed to do. Yeah. I don't think that is. I did a video a while ago, man, about whether or not some of it's was it like when they say he get hate for no reason. You know, I've already debunked that no reason stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't throw rocks and hide your hand, man. You can't be punching on carnival workers. Did you say something when he punched on that carnival worker? Did you say something when they was out there putting up Tank mugshot? Did you say something when Bill was up there talking about Tank's mother? Like, was you as adamant? Was you as vocal about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, Devin don't be like, was you like adamant when he said? Like, it's just a lot of things that has been said and done to where people try to make it seem like he's like a victim. It's like he's not a victim, bro. He's a grown man, you know, and he's done things that the other names out here that do the same thing, they get slandered, man. Like they do marathon hate videos on these other guys, but for some people it's like Devin can do no wrong, but it's not even about Devin. It's not even about Ryan. Key had the nerve to try to humiliate Mason. Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought it was distasteful, man. But you know what I'm saying? What can I say, man? I just wanted to do this, man, and just put a piece out here. I always do what I call put stakes in the ground. You know what I'm saying? I put stakes in the ground to leave landmarks. Leave something to where you can go back and you can look at a video I did where I brought up points, was thorough in my analysis, took time, effort, energy, put it in there and tried to, give you guys some nutritional value. That's what I say. This is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though I have my opinion. The channel, the name of the channel, the motto of the channel is SIC, which is silence is consent, which means that all it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men and women to remain silent. So we say something, we speak to things, we do it in real time though. A lot of people might say, oh, you're hating. I do it. I try to be as tasteful as I can about it, but I do infuse my personality in it. I try to be tasteful about it, right? But I do speak on these things. I do leave benchmarks, times, because just like fights, I want fights to have playback value. I want my contributions here on YouTube to have playback value, where you can go back to some of my old videos, they still have playback value. It's still packed with information and a different way to think. Because I say, hey, look, I'm not always right. I've been wrong, especially when it comes down to styles, like some people fighting, winning and losing or whatever. But it's not really about the outcome. It's really about who's really like gaslighting you. I talk about gaslighting a lot, and I try to like be this guy. That's why I be having this avatar, this guy right here. When I had this guy up, this is the guy from 300 who used to tell what was going to happen before it actually happened. That's why I use that. And a lot of the times, man, I be on, man. This is what it is. Man, you say Devin not a victim, but if that wouldn't stop people like from hating on him, you would say he's soft for not clapping back. He can't win for losing. Man, I already know who you are, bro. I already know who you are, man. We not simping for Devin over here, man. So you might well find another spot, man. Find another spot and post up, man. We not doing that. Because I asked you like when he punched on the carnival worker, did you say something? Were you adamant about it? When he was out here putting up Tank mugshot, did you say something about it? You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a victim, bro. He one of them people that man, he throw rocks and then hide his hand and everybody, oh, you better not talk about Devin. You better not touch Devin. Ain't nobody even hating on him. That's why I told you it's certain people to where you can't even speak the truth about them without people whining and crying. Everywhere you go, somebody crying. That man was out there trying to do just like Sean Zattel said, trying to be Mayweather. And radio said the same thing. After they ran with all that, he the only one that fought one time and got undisputed. He the only one that fought one time and got undisputed. And people don't even give Jermell Charlo, who went through the ring and got all of the belts one by one. They don't give him the same credit. We not simping for Dev, man. What you over here for, bro? Why are you over here? We not talking about Devin. That's what I be trying to say. That's why I say he got one of the worst fan bases. Y'all trying to make it all about, this is not even about Devin. But this is what y'all do. Y'all gotta force yourselves on him, man. Y'all gotta force this man down other people's throat. I guess I don't know, man. This is what y'all trying to do. It's not a Devin show, man. We don't simp for him, man. We don't simp for him, man. It's exhausting, Coquee. It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting, man. I bet you they exhausted, man. They just gotta, because I guess the shit that you do inside the ring, it don't sell enough. You gotta explain, oh no, man, this was really a boxing. No, this was masterclass, and you gotta shove them down everybody's throat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it is when it come down to that, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta explain everything. Oh no, man, no, because listen, man, you don't know boxing. Because listen, if you know boxing, you would have known that, when he did the 180, it's like, come on, man. Like, if the man hands did the talking and all that, nobody wouldn't even be. It's crazy how Abdullah Mason, his father ain't all out there. Abdullah Mason ain't got to be calling out. Abdullah Mason, he ain't got a hit list of like 10 people that we know goddamn well he ain't gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy how certain people, they just get in the ring, they put the boom ping power down, and then everybody's talking about them. Nobody has to give you a motherfucking tutorial as to how great they are and all of the things that they've done and how much better they are and how they should be on the, on the Mount Rushmore and how, they the best thing since Floyd. Like, nobody don't got to do that. It's only one fan base that got to do all this goddamn explaining. Everywhere they go, they gotta make shows about him. It's like, why? Because his hands don't, the shit that we see inside the ring with him, it don't appeal to nobody. Don't appeal to nobody, man. Like, but they gotta shove him down their throat. They gotta shove him, man. They gotta force the issue, man. Y'all remind me of a whole nother community, man. They gotta force themselves on people, man. Y'all gotta advertise and force them, man. Exactly, Coquee. Exactly, man. Like that's all they do. Since we talking about how come Bill couldn't look out for his son, like how De La Santos team looked out for him. Bill sent Devin to kill Ryan. Yeah, he went in there talking about, I'm going to unalive the man and all this. Like, this is what I be trying to say, man. Like, it's wild, man. This not even about, what's up, AC? This ain't about Devin. Yeah, what's up, AC?
Not much, man. Just been so caught up in crazy shit that I'm not even aware of the time anymore. Like, time is just an irrelevant matter. But where was you at in the cook? Let me just start from there.
I mean, these Devin fans, this dude come in here, he just started talking about Devin, bro. I'm like, what the hell? We ain't even talking about Devin. This nigga just in here just trying to shove Devin down our throats. It's like, this is not a sausage party. I keep trying to tell him this, man. We not on that.
Yeah, because
we like fish. We talking about the whole Keyshawn stuff, and this man just forcing Devin on people, man.
Yeah, that'd be the weird fans and shit like that. But at the end of the day, bro, if you still in the chat or whatever, I'm a huge Devin fan, but as a fan of his, there's a lot of shit he does that I can't condone. You know what I'm saying? And just as a fan in general, we just can't be that way. Like, I'm big on Jin Sasaki right now, but almost everybody I know in the States is like, he gonna get knocked the fuck out by Brian Norman. I'm not going in a weird ass debate with them like, no, Jin and Naz and blah. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let everybody have their opinion and just let the fight speak for itself. If he lose, I'm gonna critique the things that I saw that made him lose. You feel what I'm saying? But outside of that, man, this is a well needed cook in dealing with Keyshawn right now, because you calling yourself the businessman, but you ain't standing on business, homie. Like how do you miss weight like that? And the way things are playing out, it's like you've been telling on yourself for the last 3 weeks. Like we hearing these tidbits of you, and it was like, what? Why would he say that though? Like, what was the reason behind saying that? You know what I'm saying? This man right here showed us a picture, what, about 6 weeks ago? About 5-6 weeks ago, that picture of Keyshawn.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, just look at this dude. Like he on that same boots and he on that same boots clock and whatever. And we've been stuck on that going into this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And now the man misses weight. Well, you got one guy who kind of noticed something was off way back when. 5 weeks ago, he was noticing it was off. And he kept on saying, I'm trying to tell y'all right now, man, something ain't right, because that man is just too big. Like, how are you this close to the fight and you look bigger than a natural 147 pounder who said he should have jumped up a minute ago, according to his coach. I mean, if that's not a little bit suspicious there, do you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, he got in front of the whole Abdullah Mason thing, but, you know, that fight should be happening at 140.
But see, I didn't like that, though, because we in a, like, you know, you already had people that was coupling Kermel with Abdullah, so you already got that conversation. So the people that naturally, like the fans who they got brainwashed about Kermel, like they already kind of got this thing. It's like the Norman and Boot shit. Like he already got that. So when Keyshawn did that, knowing damn well, and I played a clip. You know, I played a clip earlier talking about, and it was from Radio Raheem. He was like, man, this had to be intentional. He said, it's no way Tim Bradley said it too. He said this was intentional. Like this was just another advantage. Now, see, me and you, we had a responsible conversation about this. But yes. For those who haven't been here and been listening to some of the things I've been saying about this, right? They don't know that I was thinking that he was going to move up. Like I've been saying, man, I don't think the Tank stuff. I don't think this going. I've been saying he was going to move up. I don't like the fact that he put Abdullah on the spot like that, because his fan base was going to go crazy, because they was already booing him. Like he was already. You could kind of hear. You heard some cheers, but it wasn't like a loud boo. But you heard some things that like some negative booing for Abdullah. And at that point, so it makes it cap. Like it's crazy how in 24 hours, like yesterday, like, oh man, Abdullah don't want no smoke. And then Keyshawn say, well, to be honest, I was moving up after this anyway. It's like, well, okay, so it wasn't appropriate to do that. Yeah, it wasn't appropriate to do that to Abdullah. Hold on, let me see something. Hold on. Shadow, I appreciate the $10, man. I definitely appreciate that. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm as Mexican as they come. One question for my brothers: do you guys like a good scrap or a match won by jab and run? We like good scraps, man. Yeah, we like good scraps, Shadow. Like I like that Resendiz. That's why I say I got a new term. It's called the Resendiz. Like, if you can give me a Resendiz, no knockdown, just a thorough beat down, I'm happy. Listen, this is the rule. This is the rule, right? In my house. If my lady don't fall asleep on the fight, it's a good fight. And nobody got to get knocked down and nobody got to get knocked out. But if she stays up, I know it's good, because she'll watch boxing. She one of the funniest people to watch boxing with. But if she stays up, it's a good scrap. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The minute she fall asleep, I be like, damn, you done made. That's why I get mad about. Like, you done made my lady fall asleep, because she love a good scrap with no knockdowns. It don't gotta be a knockdown. It don't gotta be a knockout. If she stays up, that means the fight was good.
Exactly. And here's one to put in the bank on that comment. fucking Chris Eubanks, Conor Benn.
Yeah.
It's a great sit on your seat. Oh my God, I think he about to get knocked out. Oh no, he changed the tide. Oh no, he gonna get knocked out. It was like one of those type of things. And that's, to me, that's the entertainment part of boxing. That's what we generally tune in for. The Mike Tyson era, there was a lot of complaints about that. Like, bro, I mean, if I forget to get my soda or just try to pee while y'all, while y'all announcing the fight, and I'm gonna say, yeah, the first round might not be whatever. And then I come back, the fight is over. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, the knockout has its place. But a good just stand up, we going at it toe to toe in the phone book, or just a good, technical scrap where it's some technicality involved in it, but it's still a really good scrap. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, that's what the boxing fans look for, and everything has its place. You feel what I'm saying? Recendi's beat down of Caleb Plant. That's the type of thing that we look for, because that's a lot of times me and Body's argument, and even Pop's argument when it comes down to when you have the super technical fighter. You know what I'm saying? And you're the puncher. You gotta not get into a boxing match, but you gotta make it a fight. And that's what Recendi's did. He did his little dirty work in there, offset him, and just beat him up. Just beat him up, pure and simple. Took the boxing match out of Caleb Plant and made that man fight. And Caleb Plant cannot fight. He can box, but he can't fight. And that's where I leave it. So, yeah. On that note, getting back to Keyshawn, we cooked on this because we were like, listen, Keyshawn may find himself in a more difficult fight than what he's expecting it to be. You know what I'm saying? Because De Los Santos may have things to prove. Although Keyshawn has things to prove, De Los Santos may be at the stage of his career that, he knows he ain't got a second chance. Where I was given the edge to De Los Santos is, De Los Santos has been there. He's been in more big fights. So he knows the mental pressure, and there's no real mental pressure on him. The mental pressure falls on Keyshawn. This is your home crowd. So at what point did his camp decide? Because a lot of people are coming out with that. Content creators, sports entities are saying maybe there was something that he saw or heard or, got back to him that, hey, De Los Santos is out there punching. So you need this advantage. You feel what I'm saying? As far as the comment to whereas Keyshawn tried to get in front of the Abdullah comment. Ohio Runs Boxing made a good observation, which it's kind of a good point. Sometimes with Top Rank, it's like the passing of the torch. So you're building up a fight that's not going to happen at 35 to say in some weird way, however it may play out, that, Abdullah Mason is now the guy. You feel what I'm saying? The Top Rank is going to put all their chips behind Abdullah Mason for as long as he can make that 35 pound weight limit. So whether, I don't know how to put that on the scale, but there's some plausibility to it. Just like there's plausibility that Keyshawn did this for an advantage. But then,
but see, that's what that's why I was asking Cole Key, man. I was asking Cole Key this, man. I was like, it's different for me, who I was a football player, not a boxer. But for me, it's kind of like a turnoff in this new generation, especially the more you learn, where it's like they're trying to get every single. Now, I understand it from a fighter standpoint. You want all the advantages, but like in this situation, you got the height, you got the reach, you got the activity. People are reasoning that your IQ is higher because you was an Olympian. You know, you got the better coaching. You probably more athletic. I think maybe Dos Santos probably had the power and the hand speed, but I'm thinking you got better feet. And now you want 5 pounds? It's like, God damn, man, you want me to fight with an anvil in my back pocket too?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We gave him as much credit because we was like, when the haters was just hating and said, oh man, look at PBC, they setting De Los Santos up, man, and it's a 10-pound rehydration in Virginia and all this and all that. They was saying all this stuff, and we said, no, man, De Los Santos, that's the grenade. He's still dangerous, and we don't know how many shots he gonna get at a title. So that man gonna come to fight, knowing that he could upset the apple cart. He got the villain. He got weapons. Like I always talk about villains and how, you know, a villain without weapons is just a victim. So I'm like, De Los Santos, he can play the perfect villain, man, because he got weapons. And he got the swag, he got the style that could pull something off like that. So how many fucking advantages do you want? Yeah. Before we start not respecting you, like, you know what I'm saying, like that's why I didn't do the video. I straight up said, I said, nah, something told me not to do it. I was like, I'm just gonna do this live. You know what I'm saying? I was like, something told me not to do the video. That's why I just did the live on it. Like, cause I've been peeping these moves. Cause remember I called it out about the Tank shit too. Remember?
Yeah, you was like, something ain't right with Tank, and you just listed all of it. Number one, his lead trainer's not there. Number two, we're hearing a lot of blah 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 about them. And then
AC, I'm talking about I'm talking about with the Keyshawn and whether or not he really wanted the Tank thing. Remember when I was
because he was talking all of this Tank stuff, and then it just 86. Like, you stopped talking about this dude. Like, you was building yourself up to a certain point. If I'm remembering it correctly, you're building yourself up to a certain point using a possible Tank fight, and you know, you got people surmising that, hey, wait a minute, was the De Los Santos jump off, you know, a move to have that common opponent so he could get the Tank fight, but not realizing that he hadn't said shit about Tank since the De Los Santos fight was kind of announced.
He stopped saying Tank after he got that belt. Because I was saying, I came out and cooked because remember against Gustavo Limos, he came out and said that knock shit, and I said, I bet you he ain't gonna say Tank name, and nobody would bet me. I said, I bet you after this fight he is not gonna call out Tank once he get that belt, because he said, once I get this belt, I'm coming to unify. I said, I bet you he ain't gonna say Tank name after that, and he did not. He said, there's 2 other champions out there. I mean, you know, there's 3 other champions out there. 2 of them I would love to fight. They know who they are. I said, I told y'all he wasn't going to do it. So why you use his name all the way up until that point? And after that, he would do it in glancing blows. Like after the in the interview, he said something like, stop asking. He said, don't ask me about him. Y'all ask. He said, yeah, don't ask me about him. Go to him and ask him about me. He know I want this and this. And I was like, but the whole energy changed.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Nah, you was on it, bro. You was on it for a minute, and at the end of the day, you know, these are the type of things when you following what's going on, you reading the room, and you put no stakes in the ground, like you say. It is what it is, man. But you know, I'm just like, you know, after you pull this off, you know, you were taking completely advantage of De Los Santos, knowing that he ain't fought in a minute, knowing that if the fight go down, you feel what I'm saying? It puts you in a position to whereas you kind of might, you know, you might destroy the dude. You feel what I'm saying? That's probably why you was on the, yo, I'm gonna knock him out shit so hard. But at the end of the day, you know, if the rumors are true and the fight is off and they supposed to be elevating Abdullah to the main card, that's kind of a crazy dynamic that he's going to headline the card in your hometown with both your brothers on the undercard because it's some shit you did. Yeah, that's gonna look kind of weird, even if you in the crowd and shit like that on your brother's corners. You know?
Mhm.
So for me, it's just like, all right, this is what you're saying. What do you do now? Like, who's the first guy you fight at 140? Because I think what's his name, Antonio Goodman. I think he was the one who said in a comment that Key may have to accept after this stunt, you're gonna be the B-side moving up to 140.
Yeah, Coach Key said that. Yeah.
Oh, it was Coach Key. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I see the comment right there.
I think Frank Martin, man. I think of Frank Martin. Let's get it. I swear I'm hearing let's get it from another planet. I'm thinking of Frank Martin, man. I'm thinking, I mean, I would like for Frank probably to get his feet wet, a little bit, like most fighters when they have, I try to like to have them get their feet wet, but I mean, Frank was saying, look, Frank said, I will give him credit if I see how he performed against De Los Santos. He said, that's the test. So for him to skip that test, it's like, okay, I'm gonna hit you with the same question I asked about your guy. After this situation, do we leave with more questions or answers? We didn't get to see nothing. Do we have even more questions now?
Yo, hey, listen, I'm moving more and more closer to being 10%, all 10 toes down on. Bro, you left me with so many questions. Right now, I think my argument is aging like fine A5 certified Wagyu beef. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, I'm like, yo, listen, you were fast tracked. Abdullah's doing it from the mud. That means every one of you were matched, made to get that belt. Abdullah's scrapping for his shots at the belt. Who am I gonna put my money on? Now that you ducked De Los Santos, and for everybody, De Los Santos was your test to see that, hey, listen, maybe we need to back off that Abdullah versus Keyshawn argument, because Keyshawn just, like you would say, mollywopped fucking De Los Santos into 2030 somewhere. Like, we ain't gonna see that nigga again till he figure out how to make a time machine and come back. You feel what I'm saying? But we don't have that right now. So whatever arguments was out there, hey, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. You did this to yourself. You feel me? So, hey, listen, if people start to move on Abdullah and say Abdullah's, blah, blah, blah over you and DB3, you got to accept you dropping the ball with De Los Santos was your key. So
yeah, I'm trying to find the third name. I got two names, but I'm about to pose a question to everybody. But I agree, Antonio. I know how to fix this foolishness though. When these dudes do stuff like this, suspend them for an entire year. Us fans make all these preparations to attend the fights, and this happens now, bro. I would agree. My lady was sitting there looking at me in astonishment. I said, man, you know how much money? I was like, you know how much money? Do you realize? I don't think people even realize the implications of what just happened, man.
Yeah.
How much money he lost? Like, man, this is crazy.
He just told us. He literally just told us that Top Rank got his back. They believe in him. They trust him. And we all was like, yeah, they got Key back. Key that nigga at Top Rank right now. They the one he coming in with DB3. Yada, yada, yada. Now the same guys who trust you put all the money, the preparation, did all the backstory things. You feel what I'm saying? And you do this. And you do this. Damn,
Yeah.
bro.
Cause they were grooming him for icons. They was bringing up Purnell, Mike Vick, AI. It's like, and you don't even defend the title, bro. You have all them people out there, man. You had the mayor out there. They said he had the key to the city, bro.
Yeah.
All right, but I got some names, y'all. I got 3 names, man, that I would tell me what y'all think. Which one? These are the names, y'all. These are the names.
Okay.
What y'all think about these names?
I like the Tito Mercado and the Frank Martin fight probably the best. Jermaine Ortiz, I really like that fight. But for me, it's more like I didn't. Who was that? Was that Mercado that was just recently on an interview, talking like literally calling out a lot of these dudes at 140? You feel what I'm saying? He mentioned some people, if it's Mercado that I'm thinking of, that just did it. Frank Martin and him got that beef history. They could finally settle that. Jermaine Ortiz is just a good name, a good fight. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know if they had any words between each other or any sort of interactions lately. But I like the way, if I'm correct, if it was Tito Mercado, I like the way Tito was talking. He's like, yo, if that nigga come up here to 140, I'll be happy to welcome him. But Pop, what's good, bro?
Same old shit. Just getting back. But Bobby, how do you feel about it? Because you pretty much called this shit weeks ago. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if you've been, to me on horn, but you called this shit weeks ago.
I tooted it a little bit in the beginning, man.
Okay, all right.
I just did it just because there was a lot of people that probably didn't know, and I did it just to reiterate that a lot of time when I be doing shows, I'll be trying to look at everything from all these different angles, and sometimes it's not the popular opinion, but it's just real, and it's not. I try to do it in a tasteful way, so that's the only reason why I really reiterated. And I was asking AC after this move, because I see a lot of people trying to just excuse this away, but I'm like, man, I think that people going to sit around and think about it and think about the ramifications of this, and in a couple of days they're gonna be like, dang, like, because I'm thinking about the money, I'm thinking about all the people that was let down by this. I'm thinking about, okay, what do you do next? I'm thinking about how he tried to make Abdullah Mason look bad, like, in doing that, because Abdullah, he one of them guys, he's trying to do it the right way. Like, he's not trying to be all sensational. He's just trying to work. He talks respectful, even with the call out and saying that he keeps saying the way I was groomed was I've been being groomed to whoever's at that spot when I get there. That's who I'm fighting.
Yeah.
And it was not personal. Like, Keyshawn tried to make it personal, and I'm like, well, how do you say that yesterday and have everybody shitting on Mason, and then today say, well, be honest, after this, I was going to 40. So why would you say fight me next? Like, because it ain't nobody said Mason is going to 40 tomorrow.
Somebody told me that they haven't liked each other for a while, and the only reason they think cordial is Shakur. He's the mediator between both of them, but they really don't like each other.
But I don't even like Shakur being the big bro, because that's another motherfucking ally or little bro, or it's like, goddamn, how many friends you gonna make, Shakur? Like, you can't be big bro or best friend with every goddamn body in and around your weight class. That shit is getting, like, I don't like that either.
We already said how we feel about the friend shit, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But here's another thing too, though. Is Tank wrong for making motherfuckers weigh in on the day of in real time? Are you motherfuckers really 135 pounders, or are you just moonlighting here?
Yeah. And that's why I try to tell people, yo, listen, the thing that really sold me on Tank was when he said, you know what? I'm gonna start exposing all these weight bullies. You want to fight me? You want the bag? You better be a real 135 pounder. Because if not, I'm gonna expose your ass and I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. And
I make the weight very easy. How about you?
Yeah. And for me, that's like, yeah, I respect that shit a lot. You feel what I'm saying? To me, the situation that Keyshawn did, I was trying to allude to it earlier. It's that shit Bill Haney did when it came down to Shakur. They knew they was going to 140. Bill said, "Listen, if shit get hot in the kitchen, we out of here. We up to 140." You feel what I'm saying? Shakur, you knew you was getting whatever. All you had to do was expose the bullshit, and everybody would have saw through it. But that's not what you did. So you could have easily exposed the shit out of Devin Haney, just like Gary Russell did, with that whole sending claiming that they sent Gary Russell a contract. I shitted on Dev with that. Like, come on, bro, you don't do no fucking bullshit like that. Like, and he's showing people like, yeah, the fight is off, so I could show you this shit. These niggas ain't even got my name spelled correctly. Me like, come on, Shotty. Come on, Shotty.
Yeah. He brought that DMV voice accent to it.
Exactly, and you could tell he was tight about the bullshit. He's like, come on, man, this is grown man shit. You get hurt out here fucking around. So
I just got my damn name spelled right. It's spelled Gary Russell Jr. How the fuck you fuck that up?
Exactly. So I respect what Gary Russell did. You exposed the shit out of that dude. You feel what I'm saying? And for me, it was like, listen, my mouth is shut. I don't even know if I want to be a fan of a nigga like this. You feel what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, I'm just like really getting into being a fan of Dev, and I'm like, oh, he called out Gary Russell. Oh, this is my nigga. That little nigga ain't playing. Everybody else scared, but he running towards the smoke.
That shit wasn't even real.
And that shit wasn't even real. I was like, oh, come on, man. Bill, stay the fuck out of your son's business then, man. Because you out here, oh, man, shut the fuck up with all of that, man. Right now, I just want to see who you fight next. And if it ain't somebody legitimate, I'm gonna destroy your ass. So you feel what I'm saying? You just like for Key, I'm at the same space. I was super hyped thinking that, oh shit, like Pops heard it in my voice. I was giddy like a motherfucker listening to the niggas squabble over that. I didn't feel that Keyshawn took something away from Abdullah when Abdullah just was like, well, you know, he had that little pause in between what he's saying, because he's like, I'm like, yeah, listen, my whole thing with that is I don't like when fighters start predicting shit when you got tough opponents in front of you. Both of them. You feel what I'm saying? Although I'm really, 100% sold that Abdullah's gonna destroy his guy. Keyshawn, you still in there, even though that stick of dynamite, may have a fucked up fuse or whatever, but it's still a stick of dynamite. Mishandle that shit, it will blow you up. So that's the way I kind of looked at that fight, and to see everything 24 hours later and to hear you say, well, I was going up there anyway, it's like, I don't want to disrespect you, but you need to be cooked on this. This ain't what businessmen do. You feel what I'm saying? Fraudsters do this. You feel me?
I had a title I was gonna say, man, is he gonna stand on business or will the business stand on him? And I think the business stood on him, man. And I mean, I heard people, they was trying to, ask whether or not De La Santos was right or wrong for walking away. And they trying to I think Coach Key was saying that Samson was just like, nah, he was trying to protect his guys. Like, because if you intentionally want to be 140 fighting a 135, my question part was, how many fucking advantages do you want, man?
Yeah. That's
a whole fight, or is the fight still on?
It's off.
It's off. It's officially
Abdullah been elevated to the main event, and they're not. And Keyshawn Keyshawn and Edwin are not fighting at all.
So that's a fucked up opportunity for Edwin, because now you had a chance to fight for a belt and that shit just left because of the other guy. And the fact that they know they got you over a barrel, you just trying to negotiate like, listen, I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. You're asking me to fight a motherfucker in a whole nother weight class. Even the catch weight, you can't weigh in like that. It's got to be in the middle. He's over the limit for a catch weight fight. That's a whole nother division, my nigga. Pay me for that. Is that unfair for De Los Santos to ask for that? And then y'all saying y'all, negotiations, just come on, man. Come on, man. And if
I don't like
top rank thing, it's like top rank. Nah, bro, that's wrong.
You just open up a lot of, it's a lot of, you can say conspiracies, man, after this, man, because it's like this was calculated. This was calculated, but to me, it was a miscalculation. You was thinking that this man was so hungry that he was just gonna take it.
Yeah.
And they were just like, nah. And then some people saying, well, it's kind of hard for me to believe that they would pull this stunt knowing that this was going to happen and Abdullah was going to get elevated so his startup can go up and all that. And I mean, because that's a pay. Like you how much money did Keyshawn just drop on the floor? Y'all talk about T.O. People were talking about T.O. passing up 11 mil. How much money did Key just drop? And then he got this ambassador shit. That's why I be trying to say, man, getting affiliated with Sugar Daddy Sheik, man, all money and association. Sometimes, man, that shit be weird. Because I started saying everybody who went over there to go get that bag, some weirdo shit start happening to him. And I'm like, now you an ambassador. I hope nothing don't happen with Abdullah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the best way to describe the Sheik right now and some of the weird shit, it's like when rappers started fucking with Erykah Badu. He was one way coming in, and you came out mad different coming out. Call that nigga.
When in the street, nigga came out a hippie.
For real, bro. Like,
That nigga did a flute album not too long.
Yeah.
I said, man, I don't want nothing that potent, man.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So
You ain't been with her in years, nigga. She still leaving a lasting effect like that. Damn, bro. I went to sleep. I didn't know that De Los Santos was like, nah, I'm not fighting. Well,
Yeah, and I'm wondering, okay, well, you must ain't make him an offer he can't refuse, but then I guess Samson and them was just like, man, fuck that shit. You was already up against it. We not gonna let you fight this nigga with a whole extra damn near 5 pounds, 4.3.
plus what he gonna rehydrate to?
Koki said like 155, 160.
Yeah, if you can't put no rehydration cars on that, he don't balloon up too much. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's a lot for him because you've been out for close to 2 years. You come back for a title fight. He don't make weight, but now it's like the title shot is just for you, and you don't take it. Like, ain't no guarantee that they're gonna let you fight whoever next that they put up there for them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the question for De Los Santos. Is like, now that belt vacant, are they gonna try to give you between the fighters that's available, Sam Nooks versus De Los Santos, or is it gonna be Abdullah Mason versus De Los Santos, or Sam Nooks versus Abdullah Mason? So that's weird, man. It's weird, and it's like Top Rank. You're gonna have to figure this shit out.
Damn, Key, you just fucked the bag up. Well, you just had a son. You need that money, nigga.
Yep.
You need that money.
Yep.
I think they were praying on the fact that they thought De Los Santos really, really needed, but I think De Los Santos got to get some kind of compensation, all right?
I think he just walked away with the bag. In some cases like that, they.
Oh, he still get his check. He still get his check. That shit happened to Jihad. So he still get his check.
Yeah, I think he still gets his check, but I'm trying to remember if there was a situation where the opponent got the belt because this guy didn't make weight. I think my memory would only go to UFC or MMA. I don't know if that shit happened in boxing, but I think it happened once or twice in MMA.
Well, hey, Pop.
Yeah.
They was asking, who did he fight next? I came up with 3 names. I said Frank Martin,
The Frank
Tito
Martin fight,
Mercado, or Jermaine Ortiz.
the Frank Martin fight is right there for the taking right now. I would take the Frank Martin fight. I really would.
So let me ask this question then: does Frank Martin need a tune-up?
I mean, he got Buddy McGirt with him. I mean, I would take a tune-up.
I mean, shoot, I don't know what authority he gonna have, because remember, I was saying this is remember I was talking about Shakur's fatal flaw when he did that. It's like, yeah, you couldn't make the weight and all that, but like what you did was you lost your leverage.
Yeah.
So Keyshawn just lost his leverage, because it's not like he'll easy out. He ain't, I'm not definitely, I don't want this to get misconstrued. I'm not saying that Keyshawn is a bum or nothing like that. I'm just saying that, man, this is not a good look. And you just lost your leverage, as far as, since you're not an easy out, all that leverage you had as being the A-side and them believing, and you having a title, you having, something to where somebody can gain. Now you a tough out with nothing. Like, what they gonna say? Oh, former champ. They're gonna say, oh, okay, former champ, blah blah blah, and you got that. You got credential, I guess, as far as being former champ now. But like, what do you offer somebody unless they come in with a fat ass bag?
Yeah.
At 40, because you got some people up there that's gonna sun you, like, man.
And that's what happened with Shakur, and people was like, no, but Shakur is a 3-division champ. He deserves to this and he deserves that and yada yada yada. And it was just like, okay, but he lost all of that on the scale. I know he just lost weight for that, but you lose a lot of the momentum and talking points behind you when you lose the shit on the scale. Look at this. Up until David Benavidez beating what's the name, right? David Morrell, people were still bringing up, whenever you mention him versus Canelo, they bring up what happened outside the ring. Oh, he don't deserve it because he had his shot, because he could have did blah 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 if he never lost his belt. Yeah, that's, if Woody had gone to police, none of this shit would have happened. So to me, it's like, how long does that fighter have to suffer from something? Moving forward, you're gonna have the goofy people that didn't like Keyshawn anyway, like, yeah, he got a big fight coming up. Will he make weight, and will a fight happen? Legitimate question now.
Oh, it's
at least going into your next one.
Oh, it's gonna take. This shit ain't gonna go away in no less than 6 months. They're gonna be talking about this, because it for one, it shook up the division. Like, just when they was crowning him at 35, it shook it up. Now they don't know what he is at 40. Let me tell y'all this. T.O., and I hate to use this, you know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. I'm not advocating for no T.O. I'm just making an example. Oh, Cobb fight at 47, Antonio. But I'm gonna make this example. T.O. was more proven at 35, and he spiked Comey. He made Loma put his hands in his pockets and got that. But his power ain't been the same since he's been at 35. Yeah. Now, I don't think Keyshawn gonna have that kind of problem, but he didn't even have as high of a knockout ratio or KO ratio as T.O. So you still gotta show what you can do at 40. I think because of his size, he might feel a little bit better. And he didn't stay down as long as some other fighters who stayed down there like way too long, or like how long Earl stayed at welterweight. Like, he didn't do that. But like, he's a unknown commodity at 40 right now. If we're gonna honestly assess it, we don't know what he is, because he's been fighting. This is what I was trying to say before. This is why I always go back to I putting them on the scales. It's like you fought Gustavo Lemos. He was coming down after fought at 40 under IBF 10-pound rehydration. You fought Baranchek. Baranchek only fought Navarrete, who got his ass busted at 35, went down to 30. You know what I'm saying? Just got his ass busted again. Like, and that was like a hot potato. You fought them two. Those were your last two KOs. The guy that's about to fight your brother, you went the distance with Nair Albright. This is what I was trying to say.
I got to fight for him, bro. I got to fight for him. I know we want to see that Frank Martin, and I'm into that. But there's another guy out there that could fix Keyshawn's problem better than Frank Martin to me, I think.
You're not gonna put him against Gary Antoine Russell.
No, we're not even talking about that. Because when you look at it, when you really look at it, he's gonna get, if he goes and wins, he's gonna get some international status. You feel what I'm saying? Now his opponent would be actually 2.5 inches taller than him if box rec height is there, and he has a longer reach than Keyshawn. Keyshawn had 14 fights. This guy had 19 knockouts. He's 24-0. He's ranked number 3 in the world and number 1 in Japan. You had to know I was gonna find a Japanese fighter for this dude. Andy motherfucking Hiroka.
Nah, that's Gary's mandatory.
Oh,
he's not getting out of line. He not gonna get out of that Gary. That's his shot. He ain't gonna get out of line to fight Keyshawn.
I didn't even look at that. Let me see.
Yeah, he ain't getting out of line to fight Keyshawn.
Yes, he is sitting right there, number 1. Yeah. Let me shut that down. But I think, man, that would have been exciting. So it's still exciting for me, even for Gary. You know?
Man, he gonna fight Isaac Cruz at 140.
There you go.
Man, Pitbull is a pinata. Why don't he fight Ryu then at 40?
He could fight Barboza at 40. Barboza's sitting at 40.
Wasn't he calling for Isaac Cruz just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, but then that goes right back to what he was doing at 35. Like, the dude's short, like he's short with short arms. I mean, he got a little power, but like he a pinata at this point, man. I don't want to see that shit, man. That's just another nigga with some short arms and a brawler. He ain't no boxer. He gonna stand there like right there to be hit. Like, he gonna be sniping his ass like fish in a barrel. I don't want to see that shit. Yeah. I don't want no more easy touches. It's like, nah, man. You say you one of them ones. You were talking about, come on. You were talking about you was gonna knock Tank out, bro. Like, we not gonna be picking out Egyptian cotton fabric for this nigga now, man. Like, I want him to. I want to fight some names that will give him some problems, like will pose some problems. We couldn't ask for Andy Cruz. He said no, like absolutely not for Schofield, even though Schofield's showing, we think he in witness protection, I want to see him against some guys that's like kind of proven or kind of got something that'll neutralize some of the shit he got, but I don't want to match make for him no more, man.
Yeah.
It's time to take the training wheel all the way off. You a champ, you one of them ones, you proven. I think that's a layup. Everybody want to fight Cruz. Like, Shakur wanted to fight. Like, when everybody want to fight somebody like that because they know something, it's like, I wanted some of these people where they get quiet, they be like, oh, you want me to fight everybody? I want you to fight one of them guys that your reaction is like that. Like, when Frank Martin went down and checked him and said, hey, listen, bro, I don't do all of that clout stuff, all this. Like, you can see me. I like that kind of energy. One of them guys that ain't going to back down. Granted, he's coming off of a knockout, knockout loss and inactivity. De Los Santos was coming off inactivity, not a knockout, but he was coming off inactivity too. I would accept that if Frank want to jump right in, but I mean, it's some names at 40. I told you at 40, that's my division. That's the road.
Let me ask you about this one because I haven't seen a lot of his fights, but his name just stood out. For me. He would be coming off of 2 KOs and a unanimous decision win in a 10-round fight. KO the dude in the 9th round of a 10-round fight. and KO the dude in the 12th round, in the 7th round of a 12-round fight. He knocked out Medueno, and I'm talking about Duarte.
Yeah, I'll take a Duarte. I'll take a Duarte. I'll take a Duarte.
All right, yeah. Yeah, he seems like he's rugged. He be the one to test him. You feel what I'm saying? You coming up? All right, I'll welcome you.
I would love for somebody, since I'm trying to be more realistic. That's why I picked some of them guys, because I'm looking at how Top Rank move.
Yeah.
And even though I think there is a working relationship with the PBC, it's starting to kind of mesh a little bit. But I'm looking along the lines of like what I would really like, because I hear this is what's the word on the street. I hear that Rohan Polanco is either going to fight Nicholas Flaws or Blair the Flair. It's up to him. But I would love for him to be like, fuck it, we can meet at 40, because he got the stature where I know he can still make 40. I would love to see Rohan Polanco and Keyshawn. So that's Top Rank. That's in-house. That's just add water right now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because he couldn't get no smoke at 40. That's why he went to 47. But I'm still not convinced whether or not he a true 47 in Rohan right now. I don't know.
Yeah, but the only points I give him for the move up to 47 is he said he likes how he feels, he likes how his power feels, and everything else at 47. So I'm just like, yeah, Polanco, could be the answer. Maybe, maybe now people will be more willing to fight Polanco at 40. You feel what I'm saying? Now that he's making a name, or maybe they just feel he's just too much of a tough out.
But you know who need to get on the mud. I know it's gonna be one of these guys. I bet you I know who gonna be out here in the media now. I watch this guy right here. But yeah, hey Antonio, I'm in Baltimore, man. That's where I'm at, man. I'm out here. Look at this. Which guy you think is gonna be out in the media ASAP calling on Keyshawn now?
It could be Matias. I think if Matias is smart, get on Keyshawn right now.
But he about to fight. Remember, this is these are the champs, so he's getting ready to fight.
Yeah, he's getting ready to get his get back.
He's getting ready to fight Puello, but see, Richardson Hitchens gotta handle Cambosis, but I'm talking about the guy on the far right, man. Tito.
Yeah.
The Tito called Shakur
and Keyshawn.
Yeah, to their face, like ringside, like
as he was taking off his gloves, like, you a bitch. I was like, yo, this nigga's gully with it. Just got through beating ass, getting his gloves taken off, and he calling out niggas. I'm like, yeah.
And common opponents. He stopped Pedraza in 4 after Keyshawn got him. You know what I'm saying? Like he stopped him in 4 rounds flat. Like, so I think I know Tito, he's gonna be out there calling for it. But I'm trying to be realistic in the matchup, knowing that they still with Top Rank and trying to see what is feasible, but also somebody that's gonna be competitive. But this is a wild card. Shit, I'll be like, hey, Tio, if I was Keyshawn, I would call your boy, man.
Who that, Andy or?
Nah, your guy.
Oh, Dev?
Yeah.
At one.
He at 144. He at 144.
At a catchweight, yeah.
If you're gonna do it, I mean, shoot.
If you gonna, like, that's where I'm at. It's like, I hear the guys, I hear the Franks, I hear all the dudes, but to try to fix what Keyshawn did, I think he needs a big fight with a big name attached to it. You feel what I'm saying? Either still a very dangerous former champ, or just go up there and fight a champ. I don't really know how he kind of like really fix it in a one-shot deal, and that's what I'm saying. Like for me, that's what I'm kind of looking for. The fastest way and the most efficient way to fix this major fuck up that you had, because I think if you don't get in front of it and try to fix it in a one-shot deal right now, you know, it's like cancer. You can cut it out and think you got all of it out, but if you ain't get every last bit of it, it comes right back, and it might even be worse.
But look, I ain't no genius, but if they saying T.O. Doug Devin, and Devin is Turkey's guy, and Keyshawn is an ambassador with Turkey, extract T.O. and insert. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because he was saying, because Keyshawn was saying he wanted T.O. T.O. was saying, you know, it was already brewing with him and Devin. I'm like, that kind of make too much goddamn sense if you want to be honest.
Yeah, it do make a little too much sense, because then it's like, okay, now are we going to see a dynamic in the type of looking at what's really going to give Keyshawn trouble, and what's really going to give Dev trouble. You feel what I'm saying? Now, you know, in that situation, I think a lot of the pressure would be on Devin Haney, because it's like, yeah, Keyshawn coming up from 35. You came up from 35 as well, but you know what I'm saying? You did a little bit more as far as having the accolades wise and everything. You did it in one fight, but at the end of the day, yeah, I'm kind of digging that fight. I would love to see
it. Answers questions. It's a fight that I'm thinking you put them dudes on a poster.
Like I just
say, why not? It's gonna get some traction. I mean, it's kind of wishful thinking, you know.
But like I just said, he needs a big name, a former champion, big name, big fight. That fixes all your problems. That one shot. If you went up there and you fought T.O., fixes your problem. One shot.
Well, I'm hearing T.O. got personal problems and stuff. He got to work out behind closed doors now, and you know, I don't know. I'm not. You know, on T.O.
Yeah, but at the same token, it's like his name was mentioned. His name was mentioned for the 11 mil, and if he turned down 11 mil to fight the dude, then yeah, we talking wishful thinking. But I don't think, you know, I don't think Dev would turn down 11 million to fight Keyshawn.
Yeah.
He kind of looking for a fight as well, so why not? Why not?
Yeah, man. But shit, we was cooking, man. You know, I just, you know, we you know, things are going to unfold. We'll get more answers. I just wanted to go ahead and put a stake in the ground about this and just, you know, culminate it. Now, the silver lining to this is that the card was fire enough to where it's still, I'm still checking for the card tomorrow. It's just that cherry on the top and that climax at the end, you know. We're gonna get it from Abdullah. Hopefully, you know, if he do what he's supposed to do with Nakathia, and not, you know, not the grenade versus the businessman like we thought. You know what I'm saying? So the card is still, you know, the card is still watch worthy, man. It's still, you know, it was lit enough with all. I couldn't believe all of them fights. It's just we don't get the climax. So I feel for Keyshawn in some ways, but then in some ways I'm like, man, you did it to yourself, you know what I mean? And you had to pick up these pieces and go through the same thing that everybody else went through. I don't like the people making the excuses for it, because, you know, we got to keep that same energy when it comes down to, like, Tank had to go through it. like you said, David Benavidez had to go through it. A lot of these guys had to go through it, and what this should do is it should make you respect like the guys that don't get the attention they deserve. Oh, Liam Paro is another name he could get.
Yeah.
Liam Paro, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Liam. But Liam Paro need a get back fight. He been at 40. He's notable. You go in there and do something to him, you know, that's another option. But Richardson Hitchens, man, like a guy that wasn't match made, wasn't fast track, wasn't he didn't have a machine behind him. He still don't get the credit. He got it all the way out the mud and worked his way up and got it, but never missed weight. He did it under IBF, mind you. He didn't drop down to 35 and suck himself down. So some of these guys, man, that's putting in that leg work and doing it the blue collar way, they need respect on their name. You might not like their style and all that, but like all things considered, those things are more what you want to say, complimenting of the sport than anything, or deserve at least an attention or at least a salute or respect, because everybody's not fast tracked. And you know, imagine if some of these guys had the kind of backing that he was getting with Top Rank, because this shit, the way they had this shit going, this build up, it was looking crazy. Like, damn, I don't remember Shakur getting all of this cosign and all of this kind of love. I mean, he got love, you know, up there in Newark, but not this kind of love. I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Yeah, they had the mayor out. They had all kind of politicians out, bro. This wasn't a good look for Keyshawn. Again, for me, it's just now we looking at a tale of two cities. You know, old Keyshawn and new Keyshawn. You feel what I'm saying? For me, it's where do you go from here? What's your next move? How easy or difficult it's going to be moving forward with you making fights. And now does Top Rank tell you, listen, we trusted you, we let you pick your fights. You know what I'm saying? Now we want you to follow our game plan. Just the other caveat, just to throw a little shit in the game, you know, I think Shakur might have been worried about, you know, the chatter that was going to come after it if he would have got the stoppage over De Los Santos. I would probably say right now Shakur's somewhere in the corner somewhere taking a big sigh of relief, like, oh, thank God that you know this shit ain't go down like this, and he didn't do this to me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just my little shot, my little bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like Big said, that party and bullshit. But yeah, man, it's tough, man. We just got to see what happens. I know it's mad early. We just hearing about this today. You know, we just got to see how shit unfolds and find out, you know, more of the details and see what Keyshawn does next.
Yeah, good point, man. I think Shakur breathed a sigh of relief, and now he can fart in his sleep. You know how you be so comfortable when you fart in your sleep. For real. He was like, sheesh. Ooh. But yeah, man, good cook, man. Thanks for hopping on as usual, man. You know we're gonna be cooking on something, man. You know we're gonna watch the fights and chop it up, man. But enjoy your evening, man. Hope the lady is well and the fam is good.
Yeah, for sure. Same to you, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, y'all, man. We had a good cook, man. I appreciate everybody and their contributions today, man. With the conversation, it was some good points, man. I seen some new people in here, man. I appreciate, you know, the new people that came in, man. So the WBO should have the belt vacant at 135 now. Yes. Looks bad, man. 5 pounds is too much. Yes. It's a shame because Keyshawn's a really good boxer. Yeah, I don't take away from his skills. He definitely got skills. I just think that some of the hype around it was like people were they went from 0 to 60 real quick, man. And I'm like, ooh, man, it's kind of hard when you try to keep shit straight down the middle. You often come off as a hater when you just really speak facts. But that's what we do around here, man. Silence is consent is my the motto of my channel, meaning that we say something about things. We have honest assessment about fighters, and we want them all to do well. We know they have a very hazardous job. They get hit in the head for a living, and we appreciate them doing those things, for our entertainment. But my goal is to have more responsible dialogue when talking about boxing. And I think in a way I am achieving it. I am achieving it. So salute to everybody. Federal Hill, 6, Me Opera 40, Antonio Goodman, Cokie. Of course, Pop came through, EBB. Who else was in the building? Jacoby Carter. Corey Fields popped in for a second. See, trying to make sure I don't miss nobody. Crystal was dropping that fire for a little while. Salute to you. Shadow, appreciate that super chat, man. That was lovely, man. Appreciate the love, Shadow. Even though he came in here with some BS inside the square circle with King Judah. Appreciate you popping in, even with that bullshit. Denise House was in the building. Trey Gates hopped in here. Lavelle Cannon came in here. I think they were trying to start some bullshit. Boxing Magic jumped in here. Salute. Tony P popped in, was dropping that fire for a while. Stavros Baguettes came in here. Mika Larsons came in here with some bullshit for a second. Garfield popped in. I ain't seen you in a minute, Garfield. Al Money 231 came in. Ray B, XL, Bills Boot Camp. His twin and Cookie Monster came through doing that body work. Easily Baked was in the building. So we had a nice full house, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of the love, man. I hope everybody have a good, wonderful weekend. Hope everybody still support the card tomorrow and watch the fights. Abdullah Mason, I say he is, I did this the other day. I said he is the possible Abdullah Mason is the possible prototype, man. Potential prototype. Too bad for the grenade. He didn't get to show his stuff, man. And we didn't get to see who was prey. All we know is that this whole thing where you keep telling everybody he's too small, you too small. It's like, nah, man, we want to see you. We want to see the Ferraris against the Lamborghinis, man. And hopefully we'll get it. But that's all I have for y'all, man. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that. Bye.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to